Okay, for anybody watching the VOD, bear with us just a second. We are just getting everything set up and ready to go. Okay, and with all of those pings, that means we are now properly live. So hello everybody, welcome to the Division 1 Rework RTBR developer stream. Today we are going to be streaming our rework to Division 1. This is going to be including both stuff that we did in advance of the release of Division 2 and also stuff we've done since, which is, to be honest, quite a bit more than shipped with Division 2. So, as per usual, with me, I have a good chunk of my team. We'll do a quick round of introductions, and then we'll get started. And I just need to add a little caveat, but I'll do that once we've done the introduction. So, top to bottom, Amicus.
Hello, it's me.
Okay, CW.
Hello.
Flash.
It's Flashius.
Game Boy.
It's Eric/Game Boy.
Iridium.
It is Iridium.
RZ Dat.
It is RZ that.
Tabby.
Hey, it's Tappy.
And it's me, Kralik, where no one introduced themselves with what they actually do, but that's fine, we'll get there. Right, so the little caveat then, let's get that out of the way. Tabby, who is our lovely Elena voice actress, she can't be with us for the entire stream today. And whilst we don't expect this to turn into another 7-hour stream, it probably will still be on like the 3 to 4 hour mark, probably. And so in order to make sure Tabby gets to talk about Elena, we are going to start today with Labo 2. We're going to do Labo 2 all the way through, so Tabby gets to talk about Elena, and we'll talk about some of the improvements there as well. And then what we'll do is we will circle back to the intro and play Division 1 from the start. So, let's get going with Labo 2.
15%.
This should only take a moment.
Mossman's just gonna tell you what I've been saying. Get him to Eli's place and Eli can take it from there.
Kleiner, is that you?
Yes, good morning, Elena.
This better not be a social call, Doctor. I'm running a critical sequence right now.
Well, I think you'll agree this is critical as well.
I'm just going to quickly boot up the volume a bit higher.
I'm standing here with my old protege, Gordon Freeman.
Okay, I see more than a couple people asking why we just started into Labo 2, so I'm going to assume absolutely nobody paid attention to why I just said we're going to do that. The voice actress for Elena needs to go in a while, so we are starting from Labo 2 so that she has the opportunity to talk about her work. Alright? I just said that. That's fine. It's all good. There's your answer a second.
Freeman? What's he doing there?
Well, it's a bit of a mystery, actually.
You're telling me he's in City 17? That's the worst place he could be.
It was a surprise to me as well, I assure you.
Tell her I'll smuggle him out to Eli's place.
Okay, apparently I've made the game too loud. I'll move it down a bit. Okay, about there.
Maybe turn the music down a little bit.
If Eli's colony might not be the best place for him right now.
That's also a good idea. I can turn the music down a bit and the volume up by 1.
As my man here points out, it has the advantage of being much more accessible than Kraken.
Accessible? You mean vulnerable? They'll be crawling all over those rocks if the Combine gets wind of him. No. We need to get him down here, where it's safe. And I can put him to work. Eli's facilities are too primitive. No, just port him over. I'll clear the receiver for the transmission.
But Doc, the last time you tried this...
I've made major strides since then, Barney. Major strides.
I'm telling you, we should be heading for Eli's.
His teleport is still in pieces. You've got no way to get there except on foot.
Sometimes the old ways are the best.
Well, Gordon, seeing as Barney would rather call you a taxi cab than trust us in our area of expertise.
All right, Doc. But I gotta tell you, I got a bad feeling about this.
Okay, once Kleiner finishes talking, I will peruse a little of the Elena stuff to talk about. There's also a little bit of Barney stuff to talk about there for CW as well. Hey Barney, teleport's over here, mate. There we go. I should also preface, as with the other ones, everything you see is work in progress. Stuff is liable to change.
Gordon,
Probably
get a move
will.
on.
So, just so you know. Okay. So, Elena is, as we know from Half-Life 2, a resistance scientist who later turns out to have been working for the Combine. She later turns nice again. However, in the cut content, she's always a little bit of a sourpuss.
We can't continue until you're in the teleport chamber, Gordon.
Thank you very much, Kleiner. I'm just going to AI disable these two for a minute. So, Tabby, let's talk about Elena a bit. Let's give you a little spotlight here. Let me turn you up a bit in Discord so everyone can hear you nice and loud. So, first of all, just going from the lines of Elena initially, what's kind of your direction with her character?
Oh, yeah, I think you had originally directed her to be a little bit, you know what? Honestly, I can't even remember. I remember specifically her being a bit professional, very blunt, direct, a little bit flustered at some points during that. But otherwise, she was actually the voice I had originally auditioned for with this project, and I think you guys were kind enough to keep me on call for some other one-off characters, including Rosa, who we saw last time, and then fortunately I was able to voice her in the end. But yeah, she was a lot of fun. It's really interesting seeing the whole thing come together. It looks so much better than I imagined it even.
Yeah, so, Elena is she's hiding something. That's a pretty strong part of her character, but also she sees everyone a little inferior. Obviously, we find out later she maybe was going to work at Black Mesa. She didn't get the chance, and maybe there's an element of that there where she feels like she is better than everybody else, but didn't get the chance to prove it almost.
Definitely, she comes off a bit superior.
Indeed. Going on to talk about that a little bit. There's obviously some lines later on as we'll progress, where she kind of regards Gordon perhaps a little bit differently than everybody else, being that Gordon is kind of this kind of mythical man who has made it through quite a lot of rough scenarios that no one else seems to survive
Absolutely.
through. But even then, there's an element of, you know, she kind of has an idea of who you are, but it's almost like you're just kind of slightly more interesting than everybody else. And I wonder how do you so obviously there'll be more Elena going on, and as the game progresses, she gets slightly more eviler, and then very much more eviler. And I'm wondering how do you think that change happened? Like when do you think she went from being someone who's just kind of out for herself a little bit to being someone willing to betray humanity for that?
You know what? I honestly don't know too much about her character, and I'm feeling a bit bad about that now. I might have to go back and replay the games and then play this now that it's released.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the benefits we have in RTBR is we actually obviously we get to pick a different direction for these characters, and obviously I'm kind of pruning here, trying to see, given it's your character, what direction do you think you'd like her to go in, I guess? Like, what evolution do you think she should have from here?
Redemption arcs are a lot of fun, but definitely playing somebody who's arrogant, somebody who, does think they're better than other people, like, is fun. I like playing someone who's a bit on the evil side. So I would like to see her continue to be bad.
Yeah, and continue to be quite self-serving overall.
Absolutely. That's very real.
Because unfortunately, not everybody in real life turns out to be a good guy at the climax of the story. So
Yeah, some people are onions, and some people, have that, aren't always good underneath their onion layers.
indeed. All right, let's re-enable the AI and progress with this sequence to see the rest.
Excellent. All set, Barney.
Yeah, except this
CW
gnawing
talk
certainty
about
of
the
doom.
Barney
No, there's
choreography.
nothing to be nervous about.
Once there's
Let's
another
see, the
break,
massless field
I think will be
flux
after the
self-limit, and I've
teleporter
clamped
failed.
manifold parameters to CY base and LG orbifold, Hilbert inclusive. Barney, there's a little dial with a nameplate under it that says Yukawa. Can you please read me that number?
9973793.37. Are you writing this down?
That's not necessary. Just checking for potential modular interference in the interstices. Conditions could hardly be more ideal.
That's what you said last time, to that poor cat.
Let's not dwell on our past mishaps, shall we? Initializing in 3, 2, 1.
A lot of these effects were done for
I'll
Div
be
1.2,
damned.
so we're not going to go into great depth
Warming
here.
up nicely.
This stream is about the new stuff as opposed to stuff that we've already
Stage
done.
2. Barney, please throw the switch.
I can't bear to look.
Final sequence. I've got this one.
Don't hurry on my behalf.
It's all you, Doc.
Now!
Well, I confess, I'm pleasantly surprised that worked. I guess Kleiner is farther along than I thought. Welcome to Kraken Base, Dr. Freeman, our home beneath the sea. It's an honor and a pleasure to finally meet you. I'm Alina Mossman, Kraken's director. But really, I'm just another researcher doing my part. Now, let me get you out of there. Wait a minute. What the hell?
He's back?
Oh, fine. It was going so well. I'll see if I can hold him.
What the hell?
I just lost Freeman. What the hell is going on?
I wish I knew. I'm encountering unexpected interference.
That's it, I'm getting him out of there.
I see him. That's the juice. Gordon, stand back. I'm gonna try to break out this window. Crap! Dr. Kleiner!
Okay, so something I want to talk about there as well. The original Elena scene in Labo 2 was pretty long, to say the least. Probably too long. These narrative maps already take a little while to get through, and there's already a lot of waiting you have to do whilst people talk to you in various rooms where you can't move. And the narrative stuff can be fun to a certain extent. But on the other side of things, it's just there's a point at which you just don't need more lines, you need less. Originally, we basically just put all the cut content lines in there, but with the ability to re-record them, thanks to Tabby's great performance, I went back over the lines and I condensed them from how they originally were written. I also slightly characterized her a bit better in those lines. I kind of tried to do the same amount of character in less words, basically. And that's doable when you have a really great voice performance as well. Tabby's voice performance is very much, she's very confident. She's perhaps a little bit too self-confident, but that's Elena Mossman for you, thinking she's better than everybody else in the room. And probably being right about that some of the time, which is maybe part of the reason she is so arrogant. She's yet to be proven terribly wrong. But obviously we had that luxury with being able to re-record the lines. We shortened that scene quite a lot. We also put some nice little zappy effects around the teleporter, and we have more we plan to do to this in the future, but it's probably a little bit out of scope for Division 2.1. There's also things that, like, for example, we aren't at Division 5 yet, so we don't know exactly how Kraken Base will look. We also don't know exactly how our Hyperborea will look. And so whilst we have indications of them for now, those might change in the future as we develop our understanding. Before we trigger the rest of Barney's scenes, CW, do you want to just briefly talk about the incredibly expressive Barney choreography that you implemented?
Yeah, so unfortunately I haven't gotten around to all of the choreo. It's mainly just the stuff that was at the start. At some point during Div 2's development, I had gone through and updated various bits of choreo and various scenes, and I personally really quite enjoy the expressions Barney gives to Kleiner while he's speaking. There's definitely a bit of tension between the two, a bit of conflict and interest, and you can kind of see that in the way Barney reacts visually. So that sprucing choreo up like that takes a long time. It can be fun to see it all come and work in action, but it's definitely a very tedious process. And in some point in the future, as we continue developing, I'll also continue sprucing up choreo where it needs to.
Alright.
So there's definitely stuff here that isn't finished per se, but...
Doc, you poor sap.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was saying, alright, I've turned up my microphone volume. People get complaining.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine.
Oh, before you go, Gordon, you'll need this. You left this back at Black Mesa.
Okay, that caption down there is no longer fully representative of this, but this is one thing we changed. This is probably going to be one of the bigger changes, I guess. Oh, we'll also talk about Kleiner in a sec, because notice he looks a bit different. Basically, the Barney sequences, the sequence where he gives you the crowbar was not on par with the other sequences that we've had in Division 2 for Alex giving you the Alex gun and Grigori giving you the Annabelle. That is, they weren't mechanically consistent. Barney does his entire line, then just stands there, but doesn't really say anything once you're given the crowbar. So we basically gave him just a very simple looping thing, and he holds the crowbar out, and then you walk up.
Now hurry, get out of here.
Get the crowbar. Off you go. That might be tweaked a bit more before Division 2.1. Originally, we were looking at maybe doing the Episode 1 crowbar sequence, but the way that animation is set up, it wasn't really feasible to put that here because it's not really designed for the way he faces the player and everything, and Kleiner sitting there. So that might be something that gets done in the future, but it's not in scope right now. And then whilst we're here, RZ, do you want to talk about Kleiner?
Yeah, so Kleiner did sustain. Well, I mean, I did specify which kind of injuries he probably got. I do pretty much presume he turned his head around when the explosion happened. You can see some cuts, and also his eardrum was blown out, I guess. a little bit of nosebleed. His clothes are blackened from the explosion as well. Let's just say it's a very unfortunate accident, which will probably not, affect him in the future.
All right. And with that, there's no other details here really that we need to talk about that are new for this, besides that the ball squid makes noises when it launches itself at you now. That's courtesy of RZDAT. And there are a few other miscellaneous things which have been changed here and there. But otherwise, that's about it for Labo 2. So I'm going to progress through here, create the save, and then we're going to go back to the intro. And then when we're done with Labo 1, I will load up this save here. Okay, and just to explain it again, we started with Labo 2 because the Elena voice actress Tabby needs to go soon, so we'll give her a chance to talk about that. But we are now going to go back and start from the very start of the mod. Why is it showing up as HL2?
Thank you so much for doing that for me. It was wonderful getting to see everything in action. I think it looks great.
No problem, Tabby. I really appreciate you coming along again. So we're going to start off with the intro. I don't know why the titles are being weird because they were fine for me when I started it up earlier. I don't know. Again, this stuff is all work in progress, folks. Whilst we're here, we took some new screenshots of these maps to put in the new game menu. The G-Man model, for example, has had an update since Division 1.2. And in addition, Train Station has received a pretty sizable improvement, and Construction 01. So all in all, we just wanted to update these 3 images to be on par with our Division 2 images in terms of representing the maps that they are a part of. It's a very small thing, but there you go. That's going to come in 2.1 as well. So let's begin again with the actual start.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. You've been waiting for quite some time now. Not that the passage of time has held much meaning for you, but elsewhere things have been a bit complicated. Reality has a curious manner of advancement. Wouldn't you agree? Do not be concerned with what you see. We're not really here. Not yet. 10 years is a long time, Mr. Freeman. A lifetime for some. Events change and people grow complacent. They've forgotten the happenings of the past. The scars have healed, and a sense of pride has all but vanished. You, however, have not forgotten. You remember your friends. You remember the feeling of freedom. You remember the sky. It was no time at all for you. In times of trouble, man has always looked for someone to emulate, an initiator. Climb aboard, Mr. Freeman. It's time to wake up.
Okay, before we actually move on, Amicus, you've done quite a lot of stuff to this intro sequence that is seemingly small, but actually makes a pretty noticeable improvement overall. Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So previously, the lip sync to a lot of these, not just this, but throughout the mod in general, had a lot of just kind of strangeness to them, and particularly with the G-Man, because of the way Face Poser works when you do lip syncing. Usually, you're able to just kind of input the line, like the text to the line, that is being spoken, and it usually matches up pretty well because the G-man is such a strange man and breathes funny in between speaking. It was confusing face poser quite a bit, so I went in and I manually cleaned up all of the dialogue so that the lips actually properly, because there was entire lines before where he would just hold his mouth open.
Just so everyone knows,
So he
I've
would-
muted deliberately so that we can have it playing whilst Amicus talks. Go on.
Yeah. So yeah, there was like I think there was an entire line kind of near the middle of it before where he just kind of he just let his mouth hang open for a while he talked. It was quite strange. So I fixed it all, made it look all nice, and then I also I made his head movements a little bit more expressive as well. Like here, you can see him kind of downwards with a little cheeky grin there. Just some more stuff to make him look a little bit more expressive and not kind of wobble his head around a lot. Made him look a little bit more stoic, and that's about it.
Just to clarify something, Amicus did not voice act G-Man. CW voice acted G-Man. These are lines which are a few years old, and we are intending to actually go back over them. CW's G-Man, of course, here still pretty good in my opinion. But more recently, he has of course done the G-Man for projects like Entropy 02, and so I think he's itching to get back to these as well. And this entire sequence we're hoping to rework for a future thing. Just add some more stuff going on in the speech. Okay, so let's go about there.
In times of trouble,
I'll let this bit finish playing and then we're
always
on
looked
to
for
train
someone
station.
to emulate, an initiator. Climb aboard, Mr. Freeman. It's time to wake up.
I see you again.
Now arriving at City 17.
Line.
Okay, so train station has received a pretty sizable rework. We had something in the works during Division 2, but it wasn't really in a state ready to ship for when we shipped Division 2. Since then, we've spent some time going back and trying to make it consistent with those reworks and implementing a lot of new features and details. Most of these were done by Quarrytown, who was taking a break from the team, but he did a really good job with a lot of these reworks in this map. He's also the same guy who reworked Labo 1. And indeed, a lot of the Division 1 reworks which you're going to see, not all, in fact I'd probably say by this point maybe only about half, but a lot of the reworks you're going to see were spearheaded by him. We then started re-implementing them and basically finishing them off, as well as doing a lot of original work to rework these maps. Train Station and Labo 1 are two notable examples of Quarrytown's work in action. But following in his footsteps, Ozzy Dat has taken it upon himself to rework considerable sections of maps like Console Plaza 01 and 02. CW has reworked Industrial in a pretty major way, and obviously we shipped a whole list of improvements to Construction 01 and 02, and basically every Division 1 map as part of the full Div 2 release. So this is building on top of what we've already done for Div 2. for Div 2.1, so that we can pretty confidently leave both Div 2 and Div 1 be for a while whilst we focus on Division 3. So, Combine Train, vehicle detail. There are so many things here to unpack that, and I didn't make a lot of this, I just put it in the map and finished it off. So I will do my best, but I'm not going to mention everything in great detail because a lot of things I just basically copy-pasted or got working, as opposed to actually doing them myself. So, one notable thing is the revised skybox. Pretty much all of Division 1 has a really new skybox surrounding the Citadel and the cityscape. We largely started from Clatronics' work in Train Station, but then RZDAT has done a lot of work to spruce it up for other maps as well, taking cues from what Clatronics did in this map. We have a few extra sequences in this map and some extra details, like these train roof things, I guess, that you stand under. These are now consistent on all the various trains. If I walk back onto the train, you can see they're on other platforms, and there's a lot more citizen sequences on the platforms, a lot more citizens waiting for their trains. Just makes the whole city feel more alive. A pretty major objective that we've had when reworking Division 1 was just adding more life to the city. That does not only mean in the narrative maps, as we'll see later on, the combat maps have also received some extra citizen sequences.
I can't remember the last time I had a shower.
Yeah.
Keep your mind on your work. Trouble. Sorry.
Okay. See some more citizen sequences from here as well. And a kid. There you go. So we've also found another use for the kid model that we only used once in Industrial beforehand.
Approach warning. It's all I have left. Alright, I'm moving. Jeez.
Some additional sequences from Half-Life 2, which we didn't have ourselves yet, have also been worked in. A lot of the visuals in this interior area have also been amended as per some of Clatronics' original brief. A lot of these are more like smaller things applied at scale, so I'm not going to go into great depth about all of them. But when you're playing yourself, you should just generally notice an increase in the amount of props, graffiti, decals, maybe some more interesting lighting in more than a couple places in these areas. Oh, that's interesting. What's going on there? Alright, well, as I say, this stuff is work in progress. Is that... That's very interesting. As we approach these stairs, a pretty notable lighting improvement is these little side cage lights, which have been added on.
Greetings, citizens. You have arrived within the walls of City 17, having been relocated to one of the finest remaining industrial centers. City 17's manufacturing yield is such that my administration within the Citadel was established here. Whilst your work detail is organized, you will find the relevant environment gear provided by your overseers. Remember, the true citizen serves their duty to the Combine and to your console.
Okay, so, obviously that sequence is a bit different than it used to be. Now, I think the person behind that pretty much was RZDAT, so would you like to talk about this a little bit and your work on this sequence? So, with the screens, I mean.
Oh, the screens? Yeah. Originally, the console had pretty much basic lighting inside its little booth, right? So, it was, how can I say, the lighting that he has right now is way more intimidating. It like shines his head a little bit more and makes his eyes more darker. Although also, if you didn't, some people maybe noticed, some not. But in the previous version, the screen had a different texture, but now I retextured it to be an orange screen, just like in the beta, right? So yeah, that's pretty much about the screen. Very small, minor changes, but it makes a ton of difference.
Okay. Alright, so let me turn the volume back up. In that case, there we go, about there. Okay. So, there's some other things to talk about. Of course, this is our Vortigaunt model, but this is his shackled version, which doesn't appear in Division 2, but does appear in Division 1. I'm just going to no-clip up to him for a slightly closer look at those shackles. As with the rest of his design, these shackles have largely taken inspiration from their Half-Life 1 design a bit more. But specifically the Half-Life 1 concept art design, as with the rest of our Vort, which has made a nice effect. And obviously these green bits glow in the dark as well. I will turn off this no-clip now and stop my cheating. Very sorry for that transgression. Another small thing, these now rotate. So just a nice little detail on that one. And then, as with above, there are just a lot more various props and details which have been added around these maps. So that's, you know, more benches, more trash, more graffiti, more props, vending machines, the works. I'm not going to detail every single one of them, but there are 1 or 2 visual set pieces here I will go into more detail on. These lighting sconces, for example, see pretty common use here. We have a cop who really likes going up and down this table. We'll look at that. And this guy here, I think he's from the guy who was trying to put his stuff on the handcart earlier. This little cafe bit has been adjusted.
They put something in it to make you forget. I don't even remember how I got here.
And obviously we have a lot of our retail Half-Life 2 scenes repurposed to here. Now this cafe has been made into a sort of a combine outpost thing. Now if we follow this pipe, we'll see it leads us up to this column and snakes up the column, like so, being supported by various brackets, until it continues along into the ceiling with a combine generator. Quarrytown added a lot of interesting combine stuff into this map, which I have carried over as far as possible. We'll see another example of that later on in the map for sure. There are various other props and details that have been added around, like these phone booths that he made. And in addition, over here, in this room over here, we have another kind of combine arrangement of screens and various other details. Oh, and probably a more notable feature is these gigantic triangular trusses, and also these smaller triangular trusses in each of the windows. They really help break up the otherwise previously flat ceiling. And there was another really good bit of brushwork by Quarrytown. Again, more details in here than before. There you go. As we come into this room here, we see the citizens have already been on their way. There's another console screen here, another mini one that talks to the player. These cops have us move on from here. We'll move up. This sequence has also received a rework. Ozzy, that was responsible for this.
I think we showcased it in the last stream, right?
No, we didn't. We didn't touch any Div 1 map in the last stream.
Right.
We have not played any Division 1 maps on stream. So this was a new sequence RZDAT put together. People... A lot of chatting going on. So RZDAT reworked this scene after the awkward citizen slapping the cop sequence. It's now a little bit more a citizen who is already wanted, who then runs away and gets shot for it, which makes a little more sense than just randomly running up to a cop and smacking him one. As we move along, Game Boy, I deliberately added this poster here so that we would have an excuse to talk about it in Division 1.
Oh yes. Hello everyone. I guess I should introduce myself really briefly. So I worked on this mod since 1.0 and 1.2, and you'll see like various posters in this division that I've done like a while ago. But this poster in particular is more recent. I made this poster in Adobe Fresco, which is kind of like a drawing application for like the iPad or like any tablet devices. I wanted to kind of like follow like in the art style of the concept artists of like Half-Life 2 and Dishonored. So I really tried to like appropriate sort of his like brushstroke style. This is kind of like a hybrid between like a paint over and also freehand. So some of the stuff on there is freehand. I'm pretty proud of it. It took a long while, and it was made actually a year ago, and I don't think I've ever shown it to anyone till now.
There you go. This is one of my favorite posters of Game Boy. I actually really, Game Boy does a really good job remaking the original posters, of course, with RTBR assets. But my favorites are our original ones. It's really fun to come up with new posters in the context of the Combine, and Game Boy always really knocks it out the park. This one as well, pretty good because it teases the Combine guard, which I very much appreciate. Alright, let's progress.
We have a lot of questions stacking up. Should we answer any, or are you doing the section later?
Okay, let's answer a few questions before I see the next big set piece, which you can kind of see a little bit down there, but I don't believe it's started yet. I don't think it's started, right? I haven't missed it. No, I haven't. Okay, good. Okay, I will turn down the game volume and let's take a series of questions. Let's just take a couple, and I'll just say when we're going to progress.
All right. Do we have any plans to give Elena the bowl haircut?
We did at one point look at sort of doing it, but it's quite challenging to model new hair onto an old face model. What would be more feasible is modeling a new face model, but then that also requires modeling a new face model, which is pretty, like as in any attempt we made to model the hair onto her current hair, kind of just looked crap. So, you know, we made attempts to do that, didn't look very good. So modeling a new face model with new hair is probably the only way we're going to get a like believable looking kind of bowl cut look. But then that's a lot of work to actually do something like that. So probably not. She's got blonde hair. That's been good enough for us for the time being. But we'll have to see. All right, next.
When we get to the air exchange, do we have any plans for any gas mask-based mechanics?
No. You will see gas mask citizens, but we have no plans for gas mask mechanics because this isn't Metro. Next.
This is more of a plot-related spoiler, but is Elena going to be evil then good again in retail, or is she staying evil? What are our plans for the character's alignment arc?
So obviously she will betray the resistance, but exactly how her character will progress, yeah, we're going to keep under wraps for now, because that's a big story spoiler, as Flash mentioned. Next.
Let me see. I have a very big bundle here. Will we ever have a Gargantua in the mod?
Probably not a player, not an NPC Gargantua, but like it would be nice to have like a see just like an animated Gargantua knocking around in the wasteland, but we'll see. It would be nice, but we'll have to see. Next.
Have we ever thought about making the initial train ride have we ever thought about making the initial train ride longer and make it go through the wasteland?
No, I think the intro is long enough.
Fair enough. Once we are done with the mod, will the soundtrack ever be released on streaming services like Spotify and Tidal?
The soundtrack is currently available on SoundCloud, I think, up to one of the compilations. I don't know. I haven't maintained the SoundCloud in a while because YouTube was just better and more convenient. So expect future soundtrack releases to go on YouTube. I believe we're up to Comp 3 on the YouTube ones. No, we're up to Comp 4 even. So we have up to compilation 4 on YouTube. We have 7 compilations of music in total, though the 7th one is not yet done. And I would expect to see Comp 5 in the not too distant future uploaded to YouTube. We are going to be uploading it all to YouTube in the future. As for other streaming services like Spotify, I don't really know. I'm not familiar with that level, with that amount of music upload. In terms of platforms where you can monetize the music, I tend to just let the composers do with that as they will. I believe at least Entity has a Bandcamp where he uploads his RTBR stuff. Name might also do. CW, I don't know if you have something like that, or not.
No, I do not.
No, but for the most part, I'm just gonna let the composers handle that as they like. If the composers want to upload it to Bandcamp and put it in an album and sell it, that's fine, because it's their original composition and they're effectively loaning it for use in RTBR. Even if it was made for RTBR, it's an original composition on its own merits. So I say it's up to the composers to decide what they want to do with it. In terms of that, we're uploading it to our YouTube for convenience of access. So it'll depend from track to track, basically. Let's do 2 more next.
Does this mod use any leak assets, and if so, will it replace them when it eventually makes its way onto Steam, or for the Steam release?
The mod does use leaked assets in quite a lot of places. It's little things like an individual prop or a bench or a truss. These little things might all be from the leak and might not have been in Half-Life 2 by default. Whilst we will be remaking the big ticket items like the Combine Guard is already remade, the Cremator, Alien Assassin, etc. Cannot guarantee that we'll also remake every single leak prop. What we probably will do is, right now, we just kind of have all the leak props in there as an asset base for our mappers to use. When the mod is finished, we will comb through and remove everything we didn't end up using that was just from the leak. And, well, I mean, a Steam release, even when the mod is fully finished, is more than a few years in the future. We don't know what the Steam release climate will be like by then. We don't know what Valve's attitude to Steam mods will be like by then, because their attitude right now is already a bit volatile. So we'll have to see. If we can't ship on Steam, if it's remake all the assets or we can't ship on Steam, we're not going to ship on Steam because it's not feasible. There's a reason why we're just using a bunch of cut content assets. It's because it provides a really good extra layer of stuff we can put into our maps. And it's not feasible for us to remake every single prop in both Half-Life 2 and the leak. Next.
Will Nova Prospect feature in this mod in any way?
By name, no, but the depot will be serving basically the same purpose in both gameplay and narrative. Let's have one more and then we're done.
There's a lot of... I'm so spoiled for choice. What's the biggest and most major map change in Division 2.1?
That's a difficult one. In Division 2, it was probably Labo 1. Well, it was Labo 1. It's not even a contest. It was Labo 1. In Division 2.1, full disclosure, I haven't played a lot of the improvements in Division 1. I was actually saving it for this stream because I wanted to kind of be able to be wowed along the whole way and see what everybody's been doing. So I'm not really qualified to answer that question just yet. I wanted to experience this kind of new and see what my crazy developers have been up to for Division 1. I've mostly been working on Division 2 stuff since the release of Division 2. So, from what I've seen, probably Industrial or one of the console Plaza maps, I would argue, has had the most substantial changes so far. But we will see. Okay, let's progress. Let's progress. We have this sequence here that's not new. However, there is a sequence here that's new.
Entities here.
Hey, entity. With a train crane.
Citizens, you have arrived within the walls of City 7.
I'm actually going to no-clip for this one as well, folks. We get a close-up look at this in action.
City 17's manufacturing yield is such that my administration within the Citadel was established here. We list your work details organized. You will find the relevant environment gear provided by your overseers. Remember, the true citizen serves their duty to the Combine and to your cause.
Alright, so that was the fabled train crane. Now Clap made that a while back, and he did this in a version of the map that had a very different layout to this one. So when it came to actually merging his version of the map, which was not really fully workable and shippable, and our version, which was shippable, the train crane was probably the most challenging thing to port over. This entire area still needed to be reworked a bit. You'll see me knocked off a big chunk of that wall there in order to actually pull this off. But this was a really challenging one, but this is, if we made one improvement to train station, it would have been this one. This would have been what we put all our time into for train station if necessary. Luckily it only took about 1 afternoon to actually port this over, but I can't imagine how long this took that to make in the first place. A very long time from what I remember him struggling with, so yeah. Alright, let's progress then a bit further. No other really notable changes here in this area of the map. Again, just more miscellaneous details, but I won't go too much into that. I have a sequence up here, I'm going to wait for the console. Never mind.
Provided by your overseers. Remember, the true citizen serves their duty to the Combine and to your council.
You knocked it over. Pick it up.
Okay, so I believe RZDAP put together that sequence there with those two cops. I just no-clipped up so you can get a better hear of it. It's a little challenging to hear when the console's knocking on. Yeah, Ozzy, would you like to talk about the sequence a bit?
Yeah, it's very easy to miss. That's it. It's fun fact. These are recurring characters. So if you notice that, probably not. But the Metro Cop couple are returning pretty much. It's a very subtle detail of where you meet them and how you can identify them. But yeah, just a little cool detail. I initially added them there just because I thought the walkways there was very empty. And at least it needs something to it. So I added these couple. And like I said, you can meet them later in the mod. In a matter of how you can meet them and how can you distinguish it's them. There's a very subtle detail that you'll need to know. And, you know, that's it pretty much.
There you go. Tabby has just had to pop off. But thank you, Tabby, in the VOD, for joining us to talk about Elena in Labo 2. Which, just for context entity, we started the stream with Labo 2, but we are starting from the mod again in intro. You'll still be able to talk about Barney and Industrial, of course, when we get there. Otherwise, I think that's all we've got really for train station, so let's progress through to the Terminal Plaza. Okay, so, as again, the skybox significantly better than it was before. The console screen ported over as it was before. There's a lot of extra details in Terminal which I am aware of, but which Ozzy might need to hold my hand a little bit to make sure I catch them.
Can't you see I'm busy?
Sure. I can answer in a few minutes. Just continue on for a second, okay?
Sure. So obviously, Terminal is very important in the image of the beta and also in the progression of the story. We always wanted Terminal to look very similar to its beta incarnation because it's such a iconic map. Over on the left we have some industrial segments and some buildings which indicate perhaps the industrial sector is that way, which is even better helped by the appearance of the smoke chimneys there in the skybox. We also have various buildings, skyscrapers lit up with posters on them in the skybox, and also the Citadel. Keep progressing a little bit. This feature here was added for Div 1.2, I believe. This thing, it's from a cut viz group from Terminal Plaza.
Freeman, over here. I'm a friend, don't worry. Follow me.
Right, I can answer anything you wanna know.
We'll do this sequence here, and then we'll speak about a few things.
Let me see if I can get this open. Crap, get out of here, quick!
Confirm priority 1 sighted.
Wait a minute.
Suspect prepared to receive civil judgment. Move it. Get out of here.
New sequence here, which is for obviously to make that a little better. Ozzy, I believe, worked on just smoothing that up a bit. It's pretty self-explanatory, but there's extra details there. We'll come over here because I believe this sequence has also been modified.
I'm ready to join Civil Protection just to get a decent meal.
Know what you mean.
So the reason why there's now a female citizen here, I believe Ozzy that can answer that one.
Yeah, just I guess, I mean, there's a little bit more of an entry to the fact that there's also a female metro. It's just a very subtle detail, which in my opinion was, you know, a bit necessary, but cool. No, nothing more, nothing less.
And speak of the devil, there is a female cop right there, voiced by Hoseki. She talked about that in the previous Div 2 stream, but there you go. Okay, so we'll progress through to here now. Oh! Oh, that jump scare gets me every time. It doesn't really, that's an old joke now. That's a really old joke now.
Reaction.
I don't know, man. It got me.
Absolutely ancient joke. I don't believe this decal has been talked about specifically yet. This was part of our process for Division 2. There was a grand translation project which Game Boy spearheaded along with a few other people. And they were basically working on translating all the non-English decals in the mod and in Half-Life 2 into English, so that the it wouldn't be so clearly Eastern Europe, so that it would help the geography be a little bit more unusual, and give us a slightly better excuse to say this all takes place, you know, where it takes place. The Combine have moved buildings around. It's not specifically Eastern Europe. So this was an example of that. Some of the text on here which wasn't readable was put in with other text, and some of the rest of it is just translated raw. And of course we have a little cremator there and a little Combine soldier on this guy here, which was this weird thing that they'd drawn in Half-Life 2 with like a robot head. RZ put a Combine soldier head on that one. Let's progress into here. This is now a new area you can explore in the Terminal Plaza map. This is not unusual. A lot of these maps have sections like this which were just expanded beyond their previous playable boundaries in order to actually make them more fun to explore and in order to add extra areas to take a look at. Because this area already largely existed in terms of geometry, I believe that's why Ozzy decided to open this up even further and let the player dig around the little playground, but then... Okay, so... Ozzy, talk.
That's something that I did, yeah. When I opened up that area, thought that most people would just see it's a very dark area and just like proceed to like continue finding the correct path. So I was thinking I would just add a very not many people will find. And yeah, that's the demonic TV. I basically put a bunch of beta sounds which were pretty much initially we didn't know where to put them right inside this map specifically, so I came up with the idea of the demonic TV that just lights up this window here and does a little spooky sound and then breaks the breaks the other lights. Inside, by the way, you can find a bit of other stuff. I'm not gonna specify what exactly, but there's a bit of other stuff, other props here, a bunch of more details that you can explore. And that's just a little Easter egg out of a lot more.
What the fuck? Sorry, right, we've used one of our Fs. What the fuck? What? Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
Traffic jam. Move on. Traffic jam. I think the Strider got stuck.
It seems the Combine is much stronger than previously thought.
This might be challenging. Right, let me go.
Building up soldiers, watch out.
Okay, we're back here. It's fine. Let me just do this scout sequence again. That might need to have a look at because there's something blocking them then. Might be the Strider.
It seems like
looks like the Strider got stuck. Maybe that could be it. As I said, work in progress. Things will happen and change and adjust. That was a lot of Combine. hell of a war here, man.
Let me see.
That's how they won the 7-hour war.
They're waiting in line for something. They're waiting in line to ride the Strider.
I'm just gonna double check, is the Strider still stuck? No. Okay.
No, I think they spawned by now. That never happened to me, to be honest.
Okay, it might be worth a little look.
Yeah, it's never happened to me either. I've never seen that happen before.
If I talk to you out here, we'll both be in trouble.
All right, let's just watch this for just a second. Of course, we can see our very cool Combine parade anyway. It's nice to see our boys in grey.
Someone says it's a demonic TV's fault. Maybe. I should check that. I don't think that ever happened.
There's definitely something with the Strider. I'd noticed it wasn't moving across the screen when you met the scout initially, but I didn't think too much of it.
Until I got a bunch of errors in the console, so I was like, oh, what's going on there?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Oh, yeah, okay, it's because there's 500 soldiers here. That'll do it. Okay, I think everything's progressing as intended here now. That's definitely worth a look later. Anyway, as we progress.
Doesn't anyone care what I think?
Have you ever had an original thought?
I'm not even gonna tell you to shut up.
You're talking to yourself again.
What did I do to deserve this?
This sequence was extended to include an extra citizen, which is pretty nice. This is a nice little sequence of the cops and the industrial workers working a little bit closely together. We had the idea in RTBR that being an industrial worker would make you slightly more privileged than a normal citizen. Maybe the Metro cops would regard you a little bit more favorably, especially if you were voluntarily an industrial worker. Same way as cops are usually voluntarily cops. So yeah. So there's a little bit of camaraderie here between elements of the Combine human arm of things. That's why we see the Combine Metrocops generally being a little more favourable. Like these two get to natter and he just has a little chuckle. We also see in the train station they're talking, and instead of even threatening them with a stun stick, the Metrocop just basically tells them to get back to work by saying looking for trouble. Which you can imagine if he was a normal citizen, that might have resulted in a stun stick being flashed in your face, which it didn't in this case. So just a little thing on that. So there may be more sequences implemented later on, or that I am not aware of right this minute, which kind of help that a little bit more. You can get a really good view of RZDAT's improved skybox here. Really phenomenal.
Just a quick word on it. I was inspired initially by Quarrytown's implementation, because he did the same skybox in another map, I presume, and I was like, I liked it so much, I just a bunch of maps, and you'll see it. You'll see it. Besides this map, you'll see it more.
There you go. Sorry, I'm just eating some pizza whilst we do this. Okay. Moving on.
Go! 613, unlawful entry.
A lot of RZDAT's work in general in this map, as you heard there, with the citizens and in a few other places so far, can largely be summed up as putting in more sounds which actually help sell the world that's going on and what's happening within the narrative. There's just a lot more sounds in this map now.
Someday, this will all be a bad memory.
I wouldn't say that too loud.
If I were you, I wouldn't say that too loud. So, this obviously is the first time you meet these Metrocops. The second time in Quarrytown 02 in Ravenholm. And that might not, probably not, be the last time you hear from these two cops as well. The tram. Is that the man with the briefcase? I think it might.
I think he's just late to work. I don't know.
My employers are going to dock my pay if I'm any later. I wonder what's behind this door. Doesn't matter. Let's progress. As we keep moving through here. Little fun fact, by the way. I know employee's not here right now, but originally that tram model was actually made for NGP Zero Uprising. I made it for that mod. And then, much like the sandwich board, I quite liked it, so I poached it for RTBR, with employees' permission, of course. Okay. That's the end of Terminal. Let's progress then to 3 TVs, which received most of its improvements in time for Division 2. But there have been a few other tweaks since then. Largely consistency with the Skybox by RZDAT, if I'm correct on that one. Cool's made the majority of the other changes. I think he said he was largely busy, but if someone wants to ping Cool's real quick to say if he can hop on, he's welcome, because we're at 3 TVs. This and Arcade are the 2 maps I think he worked the most on, so I think I'd like to see him here to talk about both.
This has had some of my favorite improvements to, like, the very beginning stuff.
Whilst we wait for calls to turn up, maybe, possibly, perhaps, let's answer some questions. Flashman?
Questions, yes. If the depot is basically going to be a beta version of Nova Prospect without the prison part, is the Citadel going to serve as a prison or headquarters for the Combine, or is it both?
I would say both. I would say extremely high-profile prisoners would be taken on there.
Will Barney in this mod say the F word? Like in Retail, remember that scene?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. It depends if we can find a thing to do it. I think a lot of mods overuse swearing, right? Like, I know that, like, adults swear and everything, and certainly we're no prudes. But I do think there's a lot of mods that tend to just put a swear in every sentence because it's like, edgy or whatever, and I like to write without having to rely on swearing. But if there's going to be an F-bomb, it's probably going to be from Barney, because he's the one who it would sound the most natural coming out of, let's be honest. Next, Ben.
Are there any plans for the Antlion King? Can we share anything on that subject?
I can say that we'd really like to do the Antlion King. That would be really cool if we could do it. But it presents a similar level, perhaps even more, of development challenge as Skitch. We set out with Division 2 with the intent to do Skitch, but we also always had in our back pocket the idea that we might not be able to do Skitch because it might be too many resources. And there is a point at which you have to obviously be aware that we're modders, we don't have a budget, and we do have a limited amount of work that can go into every single thing. So, yeah. Oh, someone donated something. Thank you, Dotty Boo. I think that's the first donation we've actually gotten. We can get donations because of the monetization thing. Just to clarify for everybody here, donations, all monetization money will go to charity. I think we've got an announcement about that on our public Discord. It's in the FAQ as well. But thank you very much, Dotty Boo, for being our first donator. I'll answer his question with priority then, because I guess that's what you do when people donate and you're streaming. Will there be Tau Cannon? Yes, there will be Tau Cannon in Division 3. We have some interesting mechanics planned for that, which I'm not ready to reveal at this time. Thank you very much, Dotty Boo. Just to finish the answer on the Antlion King, as I say, we'd like to do it. If we do it, you probably won't hear about it for a while. We will probably be saying maybe for a long time. We won't start saying we've got plan, like he is in the works or anything like that, until he's basically done, because until he's basically done, until we know he's in the map and he's playable and he's fun and everything, he might not make it. So until that point, we won't say he's definitely going to happen. There you go. Okay. Right. Next.
That actually knocks out one of the earlier questions. Are we getting paid for this? Answer is no.
Answer is no. The only monetization that is in any way active is the YouTube. That's because once you reach a certain threshold of being eligible for monetization, YouTube puts ads on your videos anyway. So we decided to run with the like bare minimum of ads, and in return, any monetization money we get is going to be put in a pot for charity. That charity we vote on as a team, and we will donate all proceeds to that charity once we reach a threshold where YouTube will pay us out any money from the monetization, which will be a while because I believe the threshold is $60. And I'm not going to exactly say how much we've earned because financial thing is always sensitive, but I will say it is not exactly flowing in. So it will probably be more like a year or more before we even have enough to donate. But when we do have enough, we will donate it. It's not going to the team, it's going straight to donations for charity. So that's where any donations you donate in the stream chat go. I would still encourage you to do it because it makes us feel good to be donating to charity, and obviously you will feel good about donating and doing your part. So please feel free to donate to the stream chat anyway. But it's not going to us, it's going to charity. Next.
Will there be any cameos from other mods like Entropy 02 in this game?
I'm not generally a big fan of referential cameos, potentially because if I know it's very unlikely that anybody who's played RTBR hasn't played Entropy 02, right? It's more likely the other way around by a metric mile. But I still, I tend to prefer that mods kind of stay in their own lane a little bit. That all being said, I do... Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry. Someone just donated another $25 to charity. Okay. Didn't even have a question with that one. Just said charity. Well, thank you, whoever that was. Are you sure you don't want to ask a question for that one? You can ask a question if you want for that one. But, okay. Thanks,
It was
man.
a very nice sentiment regardless.
Very nice sentiment, yeah, for sure. That is $25 closer to a charity donation for the charity that we've yet to decide. Because we were dragging our feet a little bit on that one because
it's a charity only.
And charity only. Well, all right. Well, thank you very much, man, for your donation. Don't even really know how to answer this one. This is going right off the damn rails now. I don't even really know how to respond to that one, but thank you so much. Means a lot. It will be going to good causes, and we appreciate it significantly. Thank you so much.
Shout out to Justin Arrow, who donated $25 for only a charity.
Yeah, thank you, Justin Arrow, again for your donation of $25 going to charity for a very good cause. Thank you very much from the bottom of all our hearts. Okay, well, I get that one sits at the top of the thing for a bit, like the super chat, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Cool. I don't have to turn it on.
Yeah. I think it's a minute per dollar.
Okay, so that'll just kind of hang around on there for a bit now. That's cool. All right. Let's answer one more question, then progress. I have a feeling calls isn't gonna come right now.
Do we have any plans for the Combine Synth Elite Soldier?
If you mean the one that looks like a strider with two legs.
Yes. Yes, that one.
That one. Yeah, we'd like to do that one. That's another one that we think would be really cool because not a lot of mods, maybe no mod ever, question mark. Not 100% on that one, so don't quote me on that. But no, I don't think there's been a mod that has really implemented that particular one, and I think the design is just one of the coolest designs out of all of them that was cut from Half-Life 2, so we would really like to do that. Some good justice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen any other mod besides Gmod mods actually do the synth or release with the synth, so...
Yeah. Alright, well, let's have a look. So here there's a different progression in 3TVs now. This is from Division 2. You now have to pass through this little maintenance tunnel. Cools did this area, as I said. He changed the progression here to make it so that you can watch the cremator in a slightly more safe way. Obviously, this is kind of your introduction to the cremator as a combat enemy, although you won't fight him yet. This goes with our philosophy of people should be able to play RTBR like they haven't played Half-Life 2 before, and have a lot of things that are explained to the player in Half-Life 2 explained in RTBR. Obviously, the cremator's not in Half-Life 2 anyway, so it's important to teach this to the player. But yeah, this does go some way to just helping that philosophy along a little bit. Now, you can also still come down a ladder and get mauled by the cremator if you want. We won't actually go after you, but you can stand in front of his gun and get burned to pieces. The Cool's basically made this whole walkway so it's a little bit easier for you to actually watch everything that's taking place. Okay. Let's progress a bit further then. The main thing that Cools did in this map is a whole bunch of new sequences. So visually, this map is unchanged quite a bit, except for the new skybox that RZDAT implemented, as in with all the other maps. It's very much a similar one. It's designed for consistency. So, yep, let's progress. I'm going to do a quick save here, by the way. Oh, crap. This one made me have to run. Okay, so that's not the ideal way to show that sequence. Let me go back in and let it go a bit more. Sorry. So this sequence has multiple ways of playing out. I remember this much, so I can at least talk about this even if Cause isn't here. there are a variety of ways in which you can play out this sequence. If you run through it quickly enough, this Metrocop on the left with the stun baton will not be blocking your way. If you wait too long, then he does block your way, and these Metrocops stop you to question you. You can then from there book it, and he will come after you. And then if you run far enough away, this guy is meant to de-aggro, but I don't think he does until you go the other way. Okay, and then the third way that this sequence can play out, besides just running past it straight off, is if you just watch this sequence. There's new lines here by CW, by the way, for this sequence. These aren't just recycled from other lines we had for Metrocops already. These were bespoke lines that Calls wrote up, got CW to record.
Suspect prepared to receive civil judgment. Look out! Shit! It's your lucky day. Here, citizen. 99 on the second assistance. Go on.
There you go. So, that's a new sequence there, which with some interaction. Right. Okay, moving on then. Obviously most of this map was Flash's genius, but there's nothing new here from Division 1.2 for the most part, so in the effort of moving things along we are going to progress. But I highly recommend you take a look at our Division 1.2 stream. This was the map Flash worked on revising a lot for Division 1.2, and if you look at a lot of the details here, a lot of his design will seem kind of familiar in terms of how detailed it is and his method of detailing when you go and you play Quarrytown as well. It's quite interesting to play both with both in mind. It's an interesting box.
I didn't even notice the people at the top looking out the window there. Huh.
Yeah, I think Calls added those as part of his thing.
This was actually the first map I ever worked on for RTBR.
There you go.
This is my favorite new sequence.
It's a new sequence Calls added as well. This whole sequence is again a really great way to watch the Cremator in action. Alright. I think there's meant to be a sequence up there with the Cremator as well. I don't remember though.
There is.
I've seen this bit. I haven't seen the upstairs bit.
Oh, it's so cool.
There goes someone running by, and the Cremator's after them. This is a House of the Dead. Oh, we have another donation from Dotty Boot, again, for $1.99. Thank you very much, Dotty Boot. That's another $1.99 for charity. I'll let the sequence play out, and then we'll answer this question, so that we're not have our focus distracted. I think is that actually it now? Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's done. So.
Okay, that's it. So Dotty Boot, thank you so much for another donation at $1.99. His question: will there be the heavy machine gun? Yes. We currently use our GR9 model for the emplacement guns to replace the emplacement guns with an actual machine gun. But the player will be able to get their hands on the GR9 in the future.
Okay. That's cool, isn't it, chat?
Thank you very much, Dotty Boot again. Alright.
So what was it you needed to speak about?
Free TVs, which we've just finished going through more or less, but we are at the ending sequence. I kind of talked about the Metrocop thing for you a little bit with the 3 different ways it can play out. We also talked about and showed the cremator sequence. Is there anything you wanted to add about either of those 2 sequences? I kind of for the soldier, I just kind of explained all of the different ways it can play out. For the creator, we just kind of watched it happen. Just wondering if there's anything you wanted to add besides that.
I mean, there's nothing probably to go over about those specifically if you already went through, but I can go over like this new scene if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Because there's a couple of cool things I can show. Did you quick save here? Because like,
I'll do the save game here. There we go. So then I can load back.
So a big problem with this area used to be, for one thing, they just walked up to you and then you just fade to white and you just teleport away. And another thing is there's no context when they walk up to you, like why they're taking you like anywhere either. So I asked for a line to get recorded, and thank you for recording that, by the way. But
no worries.
For one thing, I just added context, and a big part of this area was Claytronics' work. He added a whole sequence beforehand of them actually beating Gordon before we transitioned the level, and I just simply put that back with a couple of slight adjustments, and here we go.
All right.
Classifying. Hey, let me take a turn.
And Just an Arrow donated another $25. Wow. Thank you very much, Just an Arrow. We haven't actually decided the charity internally yet because, well, to be honest, we weren't expecting to be able to donate anytime soon. But
that we probably will be able to.
Yeah, because
heck yeah, Dan.
We had like a couple of dollars before this from the ad revenue, and we had 2 $1.99 donations now from Dotty Boot. Thank you very much. That's $4 plus a 50 from Just an Arrow again. Yeah, we'll probably be able to donate pretty soon now. So I'll tell you what, we will get on that. I do have a poll that's live right now within the team. I don't want to say because it might change, but we're planning to donate to the charity somewhat sequentially. Yeah, you can say some of your donations to go to an individual on the RTBR stream, I suppose, as in if you had like a directed question. Anyway, anyway, yeah. I don't really know what to say again, to be honest, out of my head at that. But we'll work it out and get back to you on that one, because we were dragging our feet a bit, because it was just going to be, we'll just decide this when we decide this, but now we really need to decide this. So, yeah, expect to see the FAQ adjusted, and maybe a mini announcement on the public Discord within probably the next week or so. We'll pick up the pace on that now, and actually get that done, because that might be relevant pretty soon. Thank you again very much, Just an Arrow, for your generous donation, as I say, going to charity, and we really appreciate it very much. Thank you. Okay, getting into furthermore industrial stuff. CW, I believe there's going to be plenty for you to talk about.
Yes.
I haven't played a lot of your new stuff, actually, so this is one of those things where every time you think you might want to talk about something, you can stop me if you want.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say about this room? This room looks different from the last time I saw it.
Yeah, so I will say straight off the bat, there is a handful of changes that were done by Claytronics, and one of the bigger ones will be the ones where we see the outside of the industrial sector. but stuff like this room, like he put the cage lights there, which create some really nice shadows. There's not a whole lot that was done to this room. It was just more like a lighting and prop change, nothing too much.
Yep, a couple more citizens, always good to add some extra life in. That's Entity's noise there. Alright. That was, of course, Entity's Barney. That line is unchanged, but these lines you're about to hear are very changed.
I would quick save.
Looks like you're in some trouble.
I will point out, I'm not sure why this dude's just standing here.
I know, I saw this working earlier. Let me,
Yeah, do you want to do a quick restart?
Yeah.
Just off the map.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, just follow Barney. It should be fun. I'm not sure why it's like that, though. And even the get-up sequence here was Klatt's work as well.
Citizen, come over me. Holy shit.
No, he's stuck.
Looks like you're in some trouble.
Well, that Metro Cop's supposed to go through the field. I don't know what broke.
He's absolutely shocked by the donation.
Absolutely. As we all are. Right.
Yeah, so he's supposed to go through the field.
So he also has a little line there where he pokes.
Yep.
Hey, Barnes, you need help with this guy? This one's mine. Alright, if you say so.
Yeah, so I thought it would be nice to make this whole hallway security area, wherever you are, just a bit more lively, and you know, give a bit of personality to it. So that's why I added like this cop here. He has a few new lines and whatnot that he'll talk with Barney about. Yeah.
Yeah, alright, I will. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will vacate citizen.
About that beer I owed you. It's me, Gordon. Barney from Black Mesa. Oh, man. I'd love to catch up on everything now, Gordon, but we need to get you out of here first. That whole mess at Terminal Plaza won't buy us a whole lot of time. You remember Kleiner, right? Your old colleague? He's got a lab on the other side of the industrial sector. Let's try to get you there quickly and quietly before they figure out who's who. Alright, good. I managed to get your data wiped off the human index, but don't take any chances. Keep moving and keep a low profile. Ah, shit. That's what I was afraid of. Best keep moving, buddy.
So, pretty major changes here with this whole sequence.
Before you blow my cover.
So we're gonna probably play this sequence like twice. Once I'm gonna let CW actually. I'll let Entity talk about his lines first, and then CW I'll let you talk about your choreography. Right, Entity, lines first. Let's hear about you about these lines a bit. Just gonna knock down the volume a bit so that you can talk a little bit over yourself. Before we do that, Dotty Boot has donated another $1.99. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. Will there be air exchange? Yes, Division 4 will focus heavily on the air exchange. In RTBR's storyline, the air exchange was set up pretty recently. And that's why the entire world isn't lacking in air. But the immediate vicinity of the air exchange is difficult for human habitation, so that is where you will see gas mask citizens in the air exchange. Thank you very much again for your third donation of the stream so far. Really appreciate it. Okay. Right. Entity, are you here?
Yep.
Alright, cool. Do you want to talk about these lines a bit?
Let's see. So,
Here, let's. I'm just gonna let it.
It's me, Gordon. Barney from Black Mesa.
I'll turn it up in volume a bit more then, because I turned it down because we played it once, but I'll turn it up again.
No, you can let it play first.
Oh, man. I'd love to catch up and everything now, Gordon, but we need to get you out of here first. That whole mess at Terminal Plaza won't buy us a whole lot of time. You remember Kleiner, right? Your old colleague? He's got a lab at the other side of the industrial sector. Let's try to get you there quickly and quietly before they figure out who's who. Alright, good. I managed to get your data wiped off the human index, but don't take any chances. Keep moving and keep a low profile. Ah, shit! That's what I was afraid of. Best keep moving, buddy.
So there's been some rewrites to this scene. I kind of initiated the whole, you know.
Before you blow my cover.
There we go. Yeah, so I wanted to rewrite the whole scene. I wanted to, get with Kralik and, just kind of collaborate on rewriting this whole thing, because before it didn't really make a lot of sense. And kind of like in retail Half-Life 2, I don't feel like there's enough urgency, like in RTBR, for this scene, so I wanted it to be a little bit more urgent. I wanted it to make more sense with what was going on. Because he was just kind of like sitting there and talking to you for only a little bit, but still, in this scenario, you'd think he'd want you to just keep moving and get you the hell out of here right now, especially when the Earth is being taken over by an authoritarian alien regime. You think you'd want to pick up the pace a little bit, especially since there's eyes everywhere. So I wanted to rewrite that, and we did. I'm pretty happy about how the rewrite turned out, but no, it's I don't know what else to say. It's
yeah.
I think that's about it, honestly. Yeah, I'm just happy about how the rewrite went, and yeah, the lines. I think I'm taking more a lot of slight cadences from Barney with how he'll say certain things in retail. I think I've done a pretty good job, or whatever, of doing just kind of replicating some of those really slight cadences, that's about it.
Yeah. Obviously, it's something that gets brought up now and then, that our Barney does not sound the exact same as Half-Life 2's Barney, but I have always been in love with Entity's impression of Barney since the first time he showed it to me, going on 5 years ago now. I really, really like it. I think it still suits his character really well. It may not sound exactly like him, but I think it still suits the character really well. I think these last round of rewrites have done a really good job at playing to both the strengths of the possibilities of this voice acting and with this character in RTBR's universe. Now, CW, let's play this scene again, and this time you can have a chat about choreography.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I just want to play the scene.
Oh.
About that beer I owed you. It's me, Gordon. Barney from Black Mesa. Oh, man. I'd love to catch up and everything now, Gordon, but we need to get you out of here first. That whole mess at Terminal Plaza won't buy us a whole lot of time. You remember Kleiner, right? Your old colleague? He's got a lab at the other side of the industrial sector. Let's try to get you there quickly and quietly before they figure out who's who. Alright, good. I managed to get your data wiped off the human index, but don't take any chances. Keep moving and keep a low profile. Ah, shit. That's what I was afraid of. Best keep moving, buddy. Come on, get out of here, Gordon, before you blow my cover.
Alright, go on.
Cool. Just waiting. Yep. So, with the rewrite, this scene, all this new scene stuff was actually done today and implemented today. Yeah, so because of the rewrite, I decided that, they weren't just straight up replacements of the old lines, they were brand new lines that had new context and stuff, so they needed new scenes. I don't know what to say about it. I definitely do feel like it's a lot better and a lot more refined now. As Entity said, there's a bit more urgency there as well with it. It is, while it is sort of done here, there is actually some additional dialogue that will appear in future. But for now, this is how the scene plays out. This scene originally used like 7 choreo scene entities. I've managed to get it down to 3, which has helped a lot with the end usage of this. You also notice that the room is slightly different as well. There's some additional detail, like there's some I don't know what it is, what it could be, some human melting device above the chair, or some sort of torture device. I don't know what it could be. There's some additional light entities for the emitters that are there, and I think they look pretty cool. And yeah, the knocking also is added in there as well. I just took that straight from Half-Life 2. But it seems to serve really quite well here. A lot better than I expected.
Alright. So that was the roundup of that. Let's progress. Right away, you'll notice the color palette of Industrial is really quite different. It's no longer oranges and warmer colors. It's much colder, desaturated and unpleasant.
Yeah, so this, the general environment mood change was Clatronics's changes, and I was able to get them implemented in this map. But you can also see here that there's ash and stuff falling as well, which was also Clatronics's changes as well. And it's such a improvement from the original mood, and really just fits the general industrial, like toxic poison sort of vibe that you know, something that the Combine would do with something like an industrial area. There's clouds and stuff moving in the skybox using sky domes, which we used from a concept map pack by C Voxillary, and they were free to use as long as credit was given. And it gives such a much more ominous vibe to also the Citadel in the background there. They're just kind of looming there amongst the smog. You'll notice here the shuttle sequence has been changed to 3 shuttles in the skybox that decide to fly over. And we'll also hear a ambient track that I had done for this as well. Now this thing here, I was inspired by, there was an old Half-Life 2 concept piece which had like some sort of Combine shelter looking thing. It was like a bus stop shelter of some kind. I somewhat incorporated that into this as just a standard post, which the post was actually just a model that was in the beta, I believe. It was in our files anyway. I repurposed that to be some sort of extra lighting, environmental lighting for the map. And generally you'll find benches near it as it acts like a bus stop of some kind.
Yeah. I was thinking this looks like one of those just combined metal textured beta props. When we actually have use for them like these, they're a prime candidate in my head for someone to go in and actually do something with it to make it more like an actual model instead of textured brushwork. And this is a really good note on that for something someone might... It would benefit us to go in, you know, touch up the model. I won't miss the train. There we go. Touch up the model. Maybe Val could do this and bring his combine designs that he's brought in for the turrets and you know, stuff like that, and the boxes, and bring a little bit of that to bear on that.
Absolutely.
It'd be quite cool. Plus, he's working on something very complicated right now, and before he works on the next very complicated thing, he'll also need to do the Division 3. He might appreciate something simpler as a break. So that might be something I get him to do. Let's progress then.
So the lighting in this area changed a bit. The first thing to note is the orange-red lights that go across the piping, and there's some removal of lights to give a more moodier feel as well. And this is a fairly big visual change as well. Our stenographer's chasm has dramatically changed in the lighting department and general just visuals. This was very much, I tried my best to work with what we had and also try to recreate visually the concept piece of the stenographer's chasm. The technique I used here is sprites, or sprite-oriented stuff so that they can just face one direction. So this essentially just acts as a fog for this area without actually changing the fog controller that is within this map.
Yep, and these stenographers they're not new for this. They were in Division 1.2, but they are animated by peeps. He's sitting at that table and typing away. Okay.
This is a fairly big change as well. Train also will now come past over the bridge multiple times throughout the map as you progress.
And rumble your screen on the way past by the looks of it.
Yep, that is correct. So this strange mechanism thing was in Industrial for a while. It didn't really do much. It would occasionally make a sound and shake your screen. I have unfortunately removed the screen shake effect, but it is a lot more refined now and has multiple moving parts to it that essentially dig into the ground. This is very much logic and stuff that I repurposed from Half-Life 2's Citadel map, and I had proceeded to redo the lighting in that area as well.
Is there anything I should go that way or have a look around for, or should I just progress?
I mean, back that way, there's just another bus combine post that's behind the force field, but nothing too major.
There it is.
Yeah, just off to the side there.
And just an arrow has sent through another $5. Should be just enough to make the threshold. Well, thank you very much, man. As I say, I guess it will be, and we really need to get on that. Thank you very much for another donation. Just an arrow. Yeah, that should be enough for us to actually do a donation right away. So we gotta get on that. I think we've still got a couple days. I don't think YouTube pays out until the 25th or the 26th or something, but Thank you so much for your donations. Everyone who donated, that's Dotty Boot, I think, and Just an Arrow. And also anyone who's been watching these videos. Every time you watch, it's contributed something. So thank you very much for watching and taking part.
Very much appreciated, guys. Every little bit counts and helps.
Absolutely. So we'll sort that out and get back to you on that. Teddy saw we haven't ported any Portal RTX models in yet. We'll probably not be doing that for Div 2.1. We'll probably do that for Div 3.
Yeah. So this area, visually, it has just more so lighting changes. Nothing super major. It's just a general vibe change, and a nicer use of various colors. Very warm oranges, contrasting with very cold whites. It's not pure white; it is slightly blue as well. Same with this area here, generally just a lighting change, also enabling shadows and adding fences to give, some nicer looking shadows to the environment.
I said move along.
I should note as well, this map's, while there's a lot of changes that have been made, there are still a lot of changes that have not yet been made. So areas that may look the same are still due for some extra art passing.
Out of there, bro. Leave me alone. Like them.
He'll still proceed to bug you even if you leave. I should note, with the garage, there are changes that will be made, not for 2.1, however, but for later divisions, and I think it would be quite a lot better than how it is currently. Yeah, to come up to one of the more drastic changes to this map. So this entire room has been completely redone. For a while, me and Clatronics, who originally was working on this map as well, we had thought of having areas inspired by Mark Laidlaw's Nether 01 map from the beta. I decided to incorporate that here with this underground bit, as I felt like this would just generally be more visually interesting and a bit more eye candy as well. Gives a nice sense of scale as well. steam here is also hazardous and is worth avoiding.
You jump scare just dropped? That's gonna get some people. For sure.
I hope so.
It got me.
It got me as well. I wasn't expecting that.
This tunnel here is
there
also...
anything more you want to say about this bit before we leave, or?
Yeah, like generally I'm fairly happy with how it's turned out. Lighting is very much inspired by how Nether 01's lighting is. Of course, I've made some of my own adjustments to it to fit better with what I was given. But yeah, generally I'm pretty happy with it. It could go with a little bit more art passing here and there, but I'm generally happy with it. It does what it needs to. While it's a bit of a longer walk, it's generally just a bit more interesting, not only to walk through but to look at.
All right. This is a really
And this tunnel.
bit.
Yeah, this tunnel was done so that you could actually just walk through it and then, crouch at the end into the factory. Some little small details here and there.
I think these green lights are new, no?
No, they are not. The factory here has not been touched drastically. There's just been some very minor changes here and there, but nothing
Are the green
noteworthy.
lights possibly new for Div 2? Maybe not
No,
2.1?
they've-
No, they're not. They were in
they've-
2.2 as
they've-
well.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, fair enough.
And I will say, to note real quick, there are sequences here I know that are awkward. Unfortunately, they will not be updated for 2.1, but I am going to be working on that for Div 3 in the future, so that should be something to look forward to.
Did I miss the... I did. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
My bad. I'm sorry. Right, let's progress. I don't believe this received any changes from 1.2 as well.
Nah.
The child workers putting recruiter heads on the platform. Great little sequence here, which you've seen before, so I'm not going to do the whole play out of it now. It's not relevant. Oh. It's a boy.
Yeah. So this room received a fairly big visual overhaul as well. The lighting here, especially with the very saturated blue here, this was inspired by a old beta mod that I don't think ever released called Insolence. That had a very similar looking area in terms of the main blue lighting, so I try to incorporate that here as like I guess a homage to it, as well as the Vortigaunt here. There's a lot like the Vortigaunt sweeping stuff is just Half-Life 2's. Just quickly, who's hitting the crowbar? Is that from the cop scene?
Yeah, they don't shoot him unless you're like there.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, how about that?
I was like, what the fuck? I was just like,
I heard
who's
that
this
too.
crowbar? In the background, it was.
I thought it was like a ghost or something.
Yeah.
Like just like another player, like a phantom player.
Yeah, every
like Hero Brian
personalized.
Next patch.
So I felt
Hero Brian from Industrial Sector.
So we think.
Yeah.
So Of course, I've made the pistons. I've changed the piston sounds to be less obnoxiously annoying. I thought here would also be a good use of a projected texture for the fan. Generally, a much more moodier area.
And it's nice to see the Broomagorn get another use.
Yeah. Especially with our shackles as well, you get a nice closer look at him as well.
We'll get
And
the
some
chance
nice
to do
lighting
that otherwise
conditions.
for a while, so it's pretty nice. Okay, moving on then. Get more of this very muted atmosphere. Another one of these bus stops.
Yep.
Yeah, we'd really
Also-
benefit from a natural model for this pole. It gets used enough times
Yeah.
in this map, I think it justifies it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's using it's using 4 different models. The main one being the pole, and the 3 others being the little monitors. Two of them are just scaled down big monitors. Actually, yeah, I thought it was a fairly easy but fun kit bash of models.
Yeah, I think we could probably leave the screens, but just the actual main item here, I think this would benefit from a new model. That could look really nice.
Absolutely. It would definitely save on the entity count, that's for sure.
Alright, we are now moving then into Labo 1. Insert loading screen here. Please be patient, I am loading. And once we finish this loading screen, we will just pick up the save that I made after completing Labo 2 in order to progress but not have to do the whole Labo 2 sequence again, as we've already done that once at the start of this stream. So if you were hoping to catch Labo 2, please take a look at the start of the stream. First 20 minutes or so is where we covered Labo 2, because our Elena voice actress needed to go pretty shortly. And so we decided to just quickly do that map first so she could talk about it. So this map is one of the reworks that actually shipped with Division 2. We did quite a lot of changes to other maps as part of the Division 2 release, but Labo 1 was definitely the biggest one. And CW is off, so thank you CW for your time and for talking about the industrial sector. Labo 1 was probably the map that was changed the most in Division 1 for the Div 2 release. Quarrytown did a lot of these changes, lots and lots of visual improvements, lots and lots of visual flair. I can't detail all of these, but I can mention a few by all means, and just draw attention to a few, like for example this volumetric light here. Like this volumetric light here, and also just various other lighting effects around here, which look really nice. Some floodlights that draw some nice attention to this whole area. Nice cage light in a well-tuned spot with a good cube map down here. This new Lamar sequence. Some of these animations were made by Calamando, who also animated Skitch for Division 2. As you progress into here, obviously some other things have been changed. In Labo 1, the lighting is moodier, and in some places more detailed. Areas like this have more model and lighting detail. The shadows here were more properly implemented, but there's some really nice lighting going on here. This is made into more of an actual proper furnace that keeps the place burning and warm, with some wooden scraps here to throw in the furnace. I don't think anything happens if you... No, you can't jam any in. And then just a few other miscellaneous details around here in terms of models and lighting as well.
It's about time you showed up, Gordon. Come on, Kleiner's waiting for us.
So this line has not yet been re-recorded, but we are planning a rewrite and re-recording of just a little bit of extra stuff in this pre-Labo 1 area to transition you into Labo 1 a little better.
Also, just to give a little bit of a brief explainer about what's going on with Kleiner's lab and stuff, because as you might recall in the industrial intro, that was supposed to be a very urgent scene, like trying to get you out of there. And at this part, he's gonna give you just a quick rundown of what's going on.
Absolutely. We have another donation in the chat from Z Maximus for $2. Thank you very much, Z Maximus. Will there be Half-Life 2 leak bubblegum in the full release? Now, I'm sure you ask that in jest.
Yes.
I'm sure you ask that in jest, but I would not mind if we had a very simple little bubblegum prop, which we did some graphics for it that were similar to the Half-Life 2 beta bubblegum, which was in Russia at the time of Half-Life 2's leak. But with like RTBR stuff on it. I think that would be quite fun to put one of those in game. So yeah, there's a thought on that. Okay. Obviously, this whole opening of the lab sequence is very different. Before we get into Labo 1, firstly, I just want to use the bathroom real quick, and then Flash will do some more questions when I'm back. So, bear with us a sec, folks. Yeah, bear with us just one sec.
So how's everyone doing?
Very good.
I feel like $1 million.
I'm actually
and some change.
Happy we're getting donations for charity.
Thank you for everyone who's donating. It will go to a good cause that we will determine and will share at a later date, but very much appreciated from all of you.
Yeah, it's a pleasant surprise.
Also, just thank you for everyone who showed up to watch the stream. Your views are greatly appreciated. We're glad to have you here, and the monetarization from the stream also goes to charity. So again, very much appreciated.
Seems like our recent streams were consistently hitting over 60 viewers, which is really nice. How are you guys doing, the audience? How are you?
They have been answering.
We're doing okay, pretty good.
It's a lot of rain.
Make
it rain.
Lots of rain. Are we able to ask to give money to, let's say, Amicus if we wish to donate here? I wouldn't accept that money. If you want, if you want to give me money, send it to me in the mail.
You can send an email.
You can send an email.
It's
Okay, I'm back.
amicus@yahoo.com.
Yeah. That's not it.
People are asking if they can give Amicus money directly. Because
my bad. That's not a valid email, I apologize.
None of the donations done here is going to any of the members. It's going straight to charity.
Yes, so if you want to specifically donate to someone else for some reason, you can message them on Discord and get their PayPal or something. But if you do it on the YouTube, it goes to charity. So don't do it here. If you want to specifically give some money to Amicus or Entity or whoever else, do it in a different format than on the YouTube. All right. Okay, I'm back now. First off, my girlfriend just tuned in. Thank you very much for watching, baby. Love you very much. Secondly, questions. Flash, let's go.
Questions. Have we had any formal contact with Valve, and have we discussed anything with them relating to the Steam release of the mod?
No. Won't do that for a while. We have not had any kind of formal contact with Valve. We've spoken to ex-Valve developers and done interviews and stuff like that. But otherwise, yeah. Next.
How long does it take to compile these maps?
Depends on the map. Some of these maps are, despite how complicated they look, only like 10 minutes or so. Really, the console Plaza maps are a bastard to compile. But a lot of optimization has been done for Division 1, and so I would probably say only the console Plaza maps are now a bastard to compile. And Train Station, actually. Those 3 maps, they're tough. Every other map is okay. Next.
Do plans to make the big machine gun beta jet ski?
I assume you mean the jet ski which was depicted with an M60 in concept art and was possibly for the Arctic. We are not doing the jet ski in the Arctic, but we do have a jet ski modeled as a reference in Eli Den, which presumably Alex uses. It's a reference there. It's not currently a usable vehicle, but one of our stretch goals for the future is to make it a usable vehicle so that we can, so that modders can use it, because people make custom maps for RTVR, and there's actually one on the ModDB page in the add-on section right now called Weapon Check, I believe, and we would like to facilitate that. A word on community-made content, just because we've got a huge amount of people relatively listening right now. We really want to do some kind of community content showcase stream. But that kind of thing really begets a couple more user-made maps first, so that we can line up a couple and play them. So, I really would encourage you to, you know, take a look, maybe make an RTBR map. We submit our FGD, and all of our content is just there and usable in a custom map. And you can also upload it to the add-on section on ModDB. We'll shout you out on the Discord. You'll also get a special supporter role in the Discord for doing your part for community content creation. And who knows, if someone makes a really bloody great map for that add-on section, we might just recruit them onto the team. So, not a bad idea, if you ask me, to contribute a bit. And in future then, we'd like to do a community content showcase stream. So, yeah, I already know a couple of other people are working on maps on the public Discord, various kinds, which I'm looking forward to seeing when they're done. Let's have one more question, Flash, and then we'll progress.
Will there be any more NPCs wearing Lambda symbols or the RTBR symbols to help you on your way, like Barney mentions in the late 2003 lines?
There will probably be other citizens throughout the narrative that help you, other generic rebels and citizens like Rosa and Mike from Outer Canals 02. But right now, I guess I can't be more specific than that. But yeah. Alright, let's move on.
Blast up, little. Where did she get to? Lamar, come out of there!
Doc, someone here to meet you.
What is it, Barney? Another fugitive? You can't keep dragging in every stray, you... Oh my goodness!
I thought that would get your attention.
Is it really? Gordon Freeman! I'd given up hope. It is Gordon, isn't it? And why on earth did you...
Sorry, one sec.
It's okay, Doc.
Quick pause. I was just made aware that someone who submitted an add-on didn't have the role just yet. I just want to give it to them real quick. Because I know who it was. Because I didn't catch it before. There we go. Danskart, you've now got it. Danskart made a cool skin for our shotgunner inspired by the blue shotgunner seen in the episode 1 concept. So they've got it.
Max,
right.
So far we haven't set off any alarms, though we should keep moving.
Well, if you say so, but I really think this is most unwise. It could jeopardize not only Gordon's mission, but years of my research.
Don't mind him, Gordon. We've all been on edge.
I do apologize, Gordon. Of course, I'm delighted to see you. Absolutely delighted. You look a bit pale, but nothing like... My God, Barney, they'll be scouring the city. Are you sure it's worth the risk?
Just get him in his suit and I could give him off to Eli's.
Eli's? But Dr. Mossman has been waiting for him.
Oh, and how was that supposed to work exactly?
I'll have to call her right away. I'm sure she'll think of something. I must say, it's unfortunate they couldn't have found a way to deliver you directly to Kraken Base. It's extremely secure.
Look, Doc, Eli's place is a hell of a lot closer. I'm not taking him into civvies either.
Excellent point. Yes, the sooner you are suited up, the better. Let's brush the dust of the old outfit, shall we?
So if I can just say something real quick.
Go for it.
So the lines from Barney were recorded, I think about like 4. Yeah, it was like probably like, I think it was 4, close to 5 years ago now, on my Blue Yeti microphone. It was my first microphone I've ever used in voiceovers. So we will be actually still be using the same lines, but we will be using artificial intelligence technology to upscale the quality of the mic, of the microphone quality.
Yeah, Entity, your mic's a little blown out, mate. I've turned you down a bit, but your microphone is super blown out.
It's oh, really?
I'm talking about how good it'll be.
Alright, how does it sound now? Hello?
I mean, it's still blown out. You're just quietly blown out.
Hello?
It's, yeah, well, it's fine.
How about now?
I think this is probably as good as it's going to get right now. That's fine. That's doable.
Okay, hold on. Okay, that should be fine.
Okay, yeah, now that's good. Now it's fine.
That's very good. Yes.
I do not know what was going on before.
Okay, it sounds fine to me.
Artificial intelligence was screaming.
Damn, okay.
Through his
it's probably because this is actually, I'm actually using right now the same mic I used back then. And I have my other mic somewhere else, but basically, sorry about that, guys. Good lord. So yeah, we're gonna be using AI, artificial intelligent technology, to upscale the quality of these lines from you know, all those years ago. So it's pretty impressive. Amicus kind of showcased some of that technology of putting like the lines through it. This processor, it's pretty awesome, but it's pretty scary how good it sounds. It just sounds like just like, it doesn't sound like it's from a Blue Yeti anymore. It just sounds like from way better equipment. So it's very impressive, and that will be in 2.1.
It's particularly good because because if we re-recorded the lines, we'd have to retime all the choreography, right? And that would be a lot of work. But you know, being able to just modify the existing lines is a huge godsend in terms of the amount of work it takes.
Also, I see people in chat saying this. It's the word AI has like a bad connotation with it when it comes to this. It's not the same as like AI art and everything. It's just an AI upscaling thing.
Yeah, we're not
upscaling is a completely different thing from AI art.
We're not putting entities into like entities into like 15 AI.
That's why I said artificial intelligence instead of AI, because it's like, I don't know, AI. That abbreviation has such a negative connotation to it. But no, we're not going to be using AI art or I don't know. I mean, I think we probably already did that once.
Upscaler it's called Adobe Podcast. It's a very, very new tool available to people. It's free too. So if anybody needs to use it for anything, literally just go to, this sounds like an ad, but it's actually just a really useful tool for people. It's like on their website. Just look up Adobe Podcast.
Guys,
most of the time works.
Guys, in the interest of moving us along a bit, because we need to do all the interactables in this lab. I think we've said enough on the AI stuff now. Let's progress, alright? But there's going to be that, as everyone said, there is going to be some line improvement coming in Div 2.1. So there's a few interactables around the lab which Catronics has put together as well, and I think I remember what all of them are. We have this one. So this is an elaboration of a scene I put together for Div 1.2. Clat just did his thing and made it better in every conceivable way. I had a little scanner you could interact with and he made that better. We have a little laundry machine that will work. And you can actually use it multiple times to mess up its positioning a lot. Alright, progressing through, there's some other interactables worth looking at, various other details, like this boot with a Zen light in it.
It's my favorite part of this whole lab.
Yep. And then some of these props, by the way, you might notice these generic props. These are actually the props we modeled for Eli, but some of the more generic ones are just seeing use throughout the rest of the game. We have some more Zen stuff in various plant pots and stuff like this, and this one, which is some Zen stuff and some tentacles in a cup. We have a whole bunch of details all around the place, and then here we have like a little Zentarium, which there we go, and you can tap it repeatedly to get some more interaction. There's some other things worth looking at in a minute. Some of these X-rays were also done by Quarrytown. I can't remember where he sourced these from, but he got them from somewhere. They look really cool. We also have this kind of area over here. These are some cameras that show various bits outside the lab, including a Metrocop cafe. The outside of the industrial sector as well. The outside of the lab again. And the outside of the lab, and there you go. Alright.
I expect you'd be pleased to see this after your hazardous journey. I can't vouch for the carbonation, but still, there is a choice of diet or regular.
Knock it off, Doc.
I just thought Gordon might be a bit parched.
You were an odd duck.
Get that thing away from me!
Lamar, there you are.
No, I thought you got rid of that pest.
Certainly not. Never fear, Gordon. She is debeaked and completely harmless. The worst she might do is attempt to couple with your head effortlessly. Here, my pet. Up. No, not up there. No, Phi. It'll be another week before I can coax her out of there.
Maybe I can convince her to stay longer.
Well, Gordon, go ahead. Slip into your suit now.
So, lot to unpack.
It's
in
time to
this
suit
room
up,
as well.
Gordon.
We've
Get
got
your suit on, Gordon.
Yeah, all right, buddy. Give it a rest. So we have those nags are a little close together. We have Barney's locker over here, which contains a few details. These are basically elements of the Metrocop mesh, just kind of split out into individual models. And also a little dog. But we have Metrocop vest in metal, which is nice. Mask, which is already separate. This is the vest of the Rebel, because obviously the idea that we go with is underneath the Metrocop uniform, the Metrocop like metal sheeted vest is actually one of these vests. And that's why the Rebels just wear these. They ditched the giant Combine Metrocop vest. Yeah, so because we're running with that, but there was no actual visual indication this is actually the case up to now, we decided to put one of these here in Barney's locker. This is just one of a bunch of details that are around this map that Quarrytown added.
I believe the mask makes a sound if you press E on it.
Whose dog is that, Kralik?
It's not one of ours. It's a beta dog. It's already in the beta.
The
this
beta
is
dog.
Some people's favorite thing, the can machine, which is meant to be crushing and purifying the green water, basically, so that it no longer will make you forget, but instead will just make you hydrated.
You also just completely destroy all of Kleiner's tally marking that he was keeping track of.
Thanks for nothing, player.
exactly. I'm just going to host timescale this real quick because this is responsible for an Easter egg I've seen no one find yet. And these developer streams are an opportunity to show new Easter eggs as well. Anyway, there you go. As you see, cool sequence of all the cans and everything. Then I believe if we come back over here, maybe.
Oh shit!
Hey, look
It's a
who
boy!
it is. It's a boy!
I didn't even know about this. Wow.
Woo!
Me either.
Learn new things every day.
It's a little chum toad, boy. How about that? So
Wait, isn't that supposed to be from Race X and not Zen?
no, it's in Half-Life 1.
Oh.
Nobody found it yet.
I haven't played Half-Life. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
Yeah, chum toads are Zen creatures.
Yeah. So we will be remodeling the chum toad at some point. Andy will be giving his own interpretation of it, and maybe we'll have more than one chum toad Easter egg. Who knows? Would be nice. Anyway, so now that the disproportionate amount of work that went into the chum toad Easter egg has been shown, let's slip into the hazard suit and just look at all the details in this now, which are much better than even 1.2.
Well, Gordon, I see you've slipped into your AGV suit. I've made a few adjustments, but still in all, it should be the suit you remember. Let's familiarize you with the basic functions, and we can be on our way.
Oh, if I could just say something real quick. When Barney says when he says you are an odd duck, it's funny. It's supposed to be funny because it's Doc, and he's a doc, and he says duck, and it's a funny little play on words, haha.
Yeah, it's kind of similar now when you say it. Duck and duck. Actually, that sounded the same to me. Oh my god.
We're cooking some Zen stuff here for a little bit of Zen stew. When
completely destroys his fucking meal.
Hey,
Excuse me, didn't mean to say F.
the
The F
meal,
again.
It's fine. I think we've already lost our swear jar a little bit.
Honestly,
the current count
with,
is
with
3.
the donations, I think we've more than made the amount of money that this stream's gonna make anyway.
Yeah, so even if the stream gets
The second
demonetized,
one.
I think we're probably fine. There you go. Some food in there, and then this one they're like mincing the Zen stuff into some kind of pasta.
It's the juicer.
Would you eat the Zen pasta, the Zasta? I'm not sure if I would. But
Well,
there
it
you
looks
go.
nutritious. Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah, it looks like a moving cauliflower.
It's just
Yeah,
the
very
juicer
nice.
extracting the nutrients from the Zen vegetables. It's just nothing. It ain't nothing.
Oh, and then there's a little.
I love that little secret.
There's a little Lamar. All right, what we got to eat? We got frost fiber flakes and choco bites and some other things.
I wouldn't trust eating Zen stuff. I feel like it would grow inside of you.
Yeah. There you go.
You'd have one of those pink tentacles come out of your nose or something.
We have enabled the
would
AGV
clamber out
suit
of
to
you
draw
like a
power
worm.
from a variety of common combine charging systems using a standard UVC interface. This will allow you
They
to
said
avail yourself of the
Dinosaur
same
called it
devices
Zosta.
utilized by the Metro Police.
Zosta.
So always look for the Combine label.
At any rate, power up your suit and we'll move
It's
on
that
to
HUD
the
hint sound.
Oh yeah, there's a HUD hint sound again. We showed that in our Div 2 stream, but that's just because people were missing the HUD hints, which were already pretty obvious, some of them, but you know. So now you will definitely remember that the Annabelle has an alt fire, hopefully, or else you'll just have a ping on your screen and not know what it meant. Also, there's a little Zen light under here that goes away if you get too close.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I love that one too. I love like every little detail in this lab is so cool.
Also, I believe the low one makes a squeaking noise, right? No, the one on the
Yeah, the
on
little
blue
mushroom
button.
if you press E on him.
There you go.
This stream is basically the equivalent of every dev is finding out something new about some map or another.
Yeah, there you go. There's a lot of work that's gone into it. Barney was levitating for half a second. Anyway, obviously.
Sorry about
that. Sorry about that. Anyway, Clap made some pipes, and here, which look really nice with the new charges.
Is often useful in treating injuries. If you come across a combine automedic like this one, you seem to be slightly fatigued. Why don't you go ahead and administer some healing agents as well? Go ahead, Gordon. Try out the automedic. That ought to make you feel much better.
Okay, gang. Time's a-wasting. I'm gonna need to send out word to Eli so we can smooth the way for Gordon to get out of town.
I told you, Barney, I intend to solicit Dr. Mossman's advice.
By the way, if I could say something real quick.
Yeah.
We have plans to potentially like add a little line from Barney when Kleiner says you looked like a little parched or something like that. I think that's what he says.
Yeah.
Barney, I had this idea of like Barney saying something like, "Well, he just got the shit kicked out of him in an alleyway," or something like that. We might add that in there.
Yeah, there are some minor rewords we might indeed do with Barney, but aren't seen here. Akin to like some of the stuff we've already done in the industrial sector. Anyway, from here I believe we just transitioned into Labo 2. So as I stated at the when we started Labo 1, we've already played Labo 2. We did that at the start of the stream so that Tabby, our Elena voice actress, could hang around and chat. If you want to catch that bit, you can go back and watch the first 20 minutes of the stream when the mod's done, or when the stream's done even, or you can just watch for now. But we are not going to be playing through Labo 2 as a result. We're just going to move straight to Construction 01 because we've already played Labo 2 in this stream and we've already talked about it. So please go back, watch the first 20 minutes, maybe when the stream's done if you want to stay up to date with what we're currently doing. But we are going to go straight into Construction 01 from here now. So we're back into combat. So again, we have a revised skybox from RZNet. This is still very similar in theming to the other skyboxes you've seen so far. Of course, you see the skybox from a different angle than in previous maps. So there you go. We are going to be doing the revolver secret. I'm not going to be talking about it in great depth. It's just because it's one of those things where once you know where it is, I feel like you should just get it every time because it just adds more to the division to have an extra weapon with you. Much like the flare gun in Division 2. Spoiler, there's a flare gun in Division 2. Go watch the Division 2 stream if you haven't already. All 7 hours of it, I dare you. Right, what are we coming up for on this one? I'm just curious. 2.5? That's reasonable. 2.5 is reasonable. We'll be done with the mod in an hour and a half, I think. Done with this stream. Hour and a half or 2 hours more. Certainly not 7 hours, though.
Oh yeah, fix this machine as well.
Oh yeah, obviously that fixed this machine. So it actually spits out cans. And it spits out red cans, see?
Yeah, it was pretty ancient. Even before I got working on the mod, the vending machine didn't work exactly as intended. This, by the way, most of the stuff in this map was done by Cools, as far as I remember. Or was it Scorley, I think? I don't remember.
Could just check the change list at some point, but one of those two didn't indeed do a bunch of work. I think it was probably Scorley, now that I think about it. I think Scorley mostly works with construction maps. So...
New in town, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. This is because I built the queue map whilst the fire was on. There you go. So we have another citizen here. As I say, even in the combat maps, you will start seeing more citizens than before, interacting in more ways than before. This is all part of making our City 17 film more alive. So this is not the first time you'll see more citizens in these maps. In fact, it's not the first time you'll see more citizens in this map. But we'll progress largely as normal for now. Cools has improved some bits quite a bit. Other bits have received reasonable improvements. The city scanner here is pretty good because it telegraphs the upcoming pistol. The upcoming engagement with the cops after getting the pistol, I mean. There's our first gun of Division 1. Obviously, because Division 1 is carries over Division 2's previous improvements. We have the burst fire on the pistol as well. As well as HUD hints that will now appear for the stun stick and the pistol for their alternate fires. So that will help people out a lot more with their Division 1 journey. We have some more really nice looking buildings here. There's some details to unpack here, but we're just going to do this bit first. So, you'll hear a couple of female cops, obviously. That's one thing to start with, because female cops have been retroactively added to basically all Division 1. Crap! I didn't do the revolver. Whoops. Whoops. Didn't do
I thought you said you weren't doing it on purpose, because we already did it before.
No, I said I was going to do it, but not talk about it.
Oh.
That's fine. It's fine, bear with me a sec. It's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. All by design, my friends. Really. You want to be on this one over here? Yeah. Don't mind this little interruption. Do this, grab the revolver, go back where we were. There you go, revolver time. Oh yeah. Ye oldie 6-shooter. Got the stun stick as well. Okay, so obviously the details in this area have received some improvement. That was Cool's work. Cool's has made a lot of these buildings more detailed and have more interesting shapes, as well as adding some posters and other various details around the place, more models. You'll notice, of course, the citizens that came through. The citizens that came through, obviously, are also a new sequence that was added, and they help kind of add some flavour to the map. Here's a little cafe area with some supplies that Cool's added as well. It can also help you, I guess, on higher difficulties with cover. Not really necessary on normal, but might be necessary on oh, this opens up. Cool, I didn't know that. But just as I say, this is much like that area in Terminal where we already had geometry here, so it just made sense maybe to make it playable, and to make it so that you can go through it and enjoy yourself. Okay. Manhacks were removed from here. There used to be some manhacks here. Incl's added the kind of playground noises there. As we progress through to here. The apartment didn't receive tons of changes, as I recall, but still has received a few things here or there.
One thing to mention, some of the feedback we got on Division 2 was addressed. That included some bugs, some, visible node draws. Those got, as far as I know, got fixed.
Nice. There you go. That's another one. So there's other feedback in here that I might not be able to specifically recall right now, but should be fixed already. Thank you for that. I just did it again. I can't get out there. That's fine. I'm not going to do that a third time and embarrass myself again. Another citizen. Oh, I see. I believe these guys only spawn in now when you're actually in the building, which I find interesting. And with the very accurate pistol primary fire, it's now much easier to kill them.
And also, contrary, you can shoot through the glass. You don't have to break it just to shoot through it.
Oh, okay. That I did not know. As we progress then through to here. A lot of these are changes that already existed in Division 1.2, so I'm not going to go too much into that.
Civil protection is on to us. Now they're flooding the areas up ahead with manhacks. You better get going before they sweep through here.
Another addition by Cause, I think, to that one, and just another nice citizen addition. And I didn't know that was there, but that does answer someone's question earlier about whether there's more citizens along the way in this particular journey who help you out. There's also a little bonus in here if you come here. There we go. We're now in Construction 02. Probably one of the more notable changes in Construction 02 will be using Skybox again as part of Ozzy's ongoing consistency there, but I believe Cause has made some other changes around the place. Not called Scorley, I think, as I say. I think Scorley handled these.
Yeah, as far as I know, I think Construction 02 is Scorley's.
Yeah. Okay. So. Here. This area is a lot better lit than it was before, which helps with readability. And seeing where you're actually meant to go and how you're meant to progress, which has been a complaint at various points of some of Division 1. Not entirely unwarranted. Moving on. I think that citizen getting off was in a older revision of this map, but I think Scorley made it have a more obvious sound. So here again, another great view of Ozzy's skybox. Particularly great view. And I think something that I forgot to mention, sorry, is that Construction 102, Console Plaza 102, Arcade and Underground have all had their skyboxes changed to this kind, to like different skyboxes like this, that sell the mood a bit more. They provide moodier lighting, greener lighting, you know.
Also, if I can mention, if you guys notice in the previous maps, especially in Terminal and Free TVs, the buildings, at least the spotlights on the buildings were light bluish, but now they're light green, as according to the sky. It shows you how gassy the sky is in City 17.
There you go. Okay. So just grab a drink of water. Let's move on. Just grab this 357 ammo over here. I don't think there's a lot of changes to mention here besides what's already here. I think, oh, this SMG gets given to you a bit earlier. Some more ammo for it.
We could get some questions out of the way. I only have 4.
Sure, let's do them.
5 now, but anyway. Will there be a prop similar to Gnome Chomsky that is going to be carried from the beginning of the mod to the end of it?
No, I think that's a miserable achievement, and I have no intention of doing it in RTBR.
Since there is a retail dropship in the junkyard section of Eli's lab, are there plans on remodeling the retail synths to make them look like the early concept art?
Yes. If it appears in RTBR and it's a creature, it will probably be remodeled at some point.
Will you be using some concept art from episode 3?
Maybe? I'd like to see RTBR as a vehicle to use cut content from anywhere. That's why we've got Return to Ravenholm cut content in the mod. That's why we've got Half-Life 1 alpha content in the mod. You know, it would, and we've got Half-Life Alyx beta content in the mod as well with the purple Cremator skin. So it would be interesting, but I can't say for sure right now.
Similarly to Half-Life 2 retail, there is a power weapon in the form of the super gravity gun. Is RTBR going to be doing something similar in Division 7?
Possibly, but our plans for that are spoilery, so I don't want to talk about that more than that.
The 5th question that I had in mind was about the green lights, which is the particle storm, which is in Division 2, so that answers itself.
Yeah, I would say play Division 2 because, yes, the particle storm is in Division 2.
Will the iconic Hydra impaling a soldier scene ever appear in RTBR?
Perhaps we intend to do Hydras in the Arctic. Don't know if they'll be used elsewhere. They might be, but if they're not used outside the Arctic, we'll find an excuse to have a Hydra impaling a soldier in the Arctic.
Well, that's us done with all the questions.
Yep. I just want to answer something I've also seen. Why did you make the Elite Metro Cop sound like Bad Cop from NGB0? Incorrect. What? NGB0 made their Bad Cop sound like the cops from the beta. That is why Bad Cop sounds that way. And that is why our Elite Cops sound that way. We were not emulating NGB02, we were emulating the cop content, which NGB02 was also doing. Okay, let's move on. Are these still... Yeah, these ones still break, interestingly. There you go.
I did not know that.
Yep. That was when I was originally planning to have every dome light in the mod be destructible, and that would have been cool, in theory, but in practice, very bad for optimization. So expect this to be the only time it happens. I might leave it in, but don't expect it going forwards. Is what I would say. Hacks!
It was touch and go for a minute there.
This is great. I didn't know this sequence was here. Where'd he run off to? Ah, he's not doing anything else. Cool. How far are you on Division 3? Is an interesting question that I will get to later because I need to give it an actual answer. It was not. I just died instead. Cringe!
Got beat at your old game.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm bad at the mod. I haven't played this bit. These guys are new. I'm expecting
Make
this.
sure to reload.
Hey, Gordon, make sure to reload.
Hey, Gordon, make sure to reload. Hey, Gordon, press your R key to reload.
Barney, I'm alright, thank you.
Thanks, Barney.
Hey, Gordon, about that reload key I owe you. It's me, Gordon. Barney.
Make
don't
sure to
forget
press
reload.
R. Make sure to press R.
Are we gonna do this like an old 2000 tutorial? Gordon, press the R key on your keyboard to reload your weapon. And if you rebound it, then that's your fault. I only have one voice line for this.
By the way, I'm sorry about this, having to do this again, but everybody type 1 in the chat if you want me, or the voice actors, whoever wants to do it, whichever voice actor wants to do it. Type 1 in the chat if you want us to like record dialogue like that. Like type R on your keyboard to reload.
No.
It's like that could be an add-on. That could be an add-on.
What? Instead of the beep noise, it could just be like, "Hey, Gordon, look at this."
I'll record it though. I wouldn't expect anyone else to do that, but I'll do it.
Easy peasy.
Like press R on your keyboard to reload, Gordon.
Whoa!
Hey.
What was that? I think that manhack blew itself up.
Damn.
God damn.
Hey, Gordon, press spacebar on your keyboard to jump.
Press the space key to jump, Gordon. Alright.
Whoops, you put the wrong CD in the computer.
Go on without us. We got stuff to do.
Somehow I thought things would be better by now.
The dread is
Yeah, there we go. Type R. Type R.
Oh yeah, actually also replace those funk breakables with actual beams.
Oh, there you
It's a
go.
small detail, but you know, better than the funk breakables, which in my opinion weren't looking so good.
Alright, and then let's move into Console Plaza 01.
Alright, prepare for big changes.
Alright. So, ooh, what's that? Spotlight on the helicopter. We'll see more of that later. But again, new skybox, new 3D skybox. And I assume there's more changes to come past here mostly. So let's progress through this apartment area.
Ooh, a lot more.
Did you change the texture on this building?
No, this one not.
Okay, and I guess you didn't add this shed either.
No, this was already in previous division as far as I know.
It wasn't in Division 1.2 for sure, so I think it was added in Division 2 by Scorley. Oh, now that I think about it, Scorley was working on these maps. I think Cools was working on the constructed maps.
Oh, you think? Okay, I get confused all the time. Added those this work in APC. The APC behind you is using projected texture.
Oh, this one?
The one you just saw. This one, yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Using projected texture, you will see a lot more projected textures in these maps. Exactly. So, also, let's talk about a little bit about the squad mechanics as well. And also, you see a lot of new visuals, new details on the streets, because previously before it was pretty barren. Basically, the soldiers now use tactics, like actual tactics. And the console is talking over me, so I don't know if I should continue or not. Should I?
I like to talk about the console cast a little bit too.
Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. First of all, the soldiers in the Console Plaza maps are now way more tactical. They work in groups. Most of the time, they'll be led by a Combine elite using an SMG. He will be basically the guy who suppresses you, you know, if you're getting into cover and stuff like that. They share information. Some of them will carry manhacks, some of them will carry grenades. They're more varied, okay? And they work as a squad to take you down. This squad in particular, the one you just killed off, I call them the park responders. Apparently they don't have a commander. But yeah, each and every encounter, I thought about it, okay? So it'll be a little bit more varied and a little bit more, you know, more action, okay? Because Console Plaza in general lacked a lot of action. Right, that's it.
Alright, cool. And see if you want to talk about the console cast settings after he's talked, I guess.
The Combine once again stand with us in our time of need, as they once did so long ago. They have given me the resources necessary to combat this evil.
Sorry, just to answer a quick question that I've seen answered by asked by Matthew Jovic. We're going with 20 years. So the G-Man line will be redone to be 10, to be 20. This one will not be redone. This one will remain as 20 years for the timing. And the reason why we're going with 20 anyway is we decided that it gives us a little bit more freedom. If we go for... We previously were thinking we'll make it 10 years, but we recently decided to actually stay with 20 years because it gives us more freedom to kind of say there's more stuff that has changed. It gives us more room to interpret things. So that's why we're doing that. Okay.
All I need now to stop this terror is the most crucial element of all. You, the people, report to your nearest recruitment center.
You guys don't know how many times I've heard this line over and over again.
You don't know how much I heard this line.
Oh, I know you did. We all did. Like
I've
RZ
looked
and
on
I.
this map. Oh my god.
Yeah, man. I'm sure you probably heard it more.
I don't know how many times I've heard it.
I memorized it by now.
He recorded the damn line.
Like, I just have like an urge to just say it along with the console cast. That's how much I've heard it, man.
I definitely like this one better than the first speech in the train station.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
This one is a little bit more intimidating.
Flash, you want to speak first before me though, because you're the one that recorded this.
It's not a new recording from Div 1.2.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really old recording.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Yeah, so let's talk about the new stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Just thought I'd give him the chance, because he's the one that recorded it. But yeah, so this is... It was really fun working on this, so... I kind of noticed, just kind of playing through this map, that it's just... There's no effects or processing on Flash's voice here. And like coming from this console cast series of monitors, I'm not really sure what you call that. You know, there's this. It's just kind of sounded weird to me, just how it's just there's no processing on it or anything like that. So I kind of experimented with some post processing and some effects to make it sound like it's coming from those monitors, right? So. In that little hub thing. So I added a lot of like weight to how it sounds. It was really fun playing around with that. But yeah, I added a lot of reverb to it. Not a lot, but like enough reverb where it sounds like it's reverberating through this little city block. And Amicus actually put it together so that the farther away you are from it, the more reverberated it is, or the more quieter it is. So he helped with that. So it's really nice. It kind of played around with that on the sound script, and we're very satisfied about how that turned out.
Okay.
Yeah, but the reverb was really fun to play around with. I'm really happy about how this turned out. It really has a lot of atmosphere to it, especially how it's repeating over and over again through the fight, you know.
Yep. Alright then, but let's move the volume back up and then progress.
As you can see, a lot of detail added to the streets, the grades, new train stations, the new lights. The street lamps were moved as well. Traffic lights emit the yellow, basically the yellow light that indicates that they're working, but they're just broken, I guess, misconfigured, which is a real-life detail as well. There's a lot to unpack here. I don't want to go over it. Oh yeah, and of course the star of the show, the, the spotlight of the helicopter, which uses a projected texture. And it looks, in my opinion, that's the star of these maps. You'll get to see it and you experience it yourself.
It does a really good job of lighting up the whole place and making it feel much more impressive.
I initially tried looking for like a good color for the helicopter. I went with white at first start, but then I realized I need to paint it along more with the background, so I did the light green instead.
There you go.
And that's pretty much it. You may continue. some new console casts as well to the apartments.
By the way, hopefully this is alright time to say this real quick. If you just want to stop for a second. About the listen, or you kill these man hacks first. There we go. The listen tone that you hear, that was also in, I just forgot to mention this earlier, sorry, but, the listen tone that you hear before the console cast plays, that's also in Train Station. So, that was actually like a beta sound. It might be re-recorded, I kind of like it. I think it should probably stay. I mean, it's basically that listen tone sound, except there's processing on it and everything. The sound a little bit more distorted, the sound a little bit more reverberated. And it sounds really nice, and it's kind of environment appropriate for Train Station and for this area as well. So that was really fun to play with, and I always love that sound, so it was nice to put in. That's it.
Okay. Let's move in. Ozzy Dad needs to go pick something up, so just as we are talking here, we have another citizen here, of course. We have the chopper looking at you through here. This is one of the places where the spotlight is really, really apparent through these windows. As you see the shadows come through on the windows.
Get the hell out of here!
Alright, mate, I'll do that. This elite cop breaking out of there is new. Awesome, I'll do that. Because we're coming up on one or two things which are actually pretty big, and Ozzy, that probably needs to be here for Flash. Do you want to shoot a question or two my way?
The one question that was posed relating to the consul becoming less human and slowly becoming a synth out of fear of the Freeman is something I already answered in the chat. We don't actually have any questions. We've answered all of them.
Oh, alright then. Okay. Cool. Never mind then. We'll progress here a little bit then. Take some time to tune the scenery a bit.
Oh, sorry, I'm back. I was just collecting something.
No, I was kind of dragging my feet before moving on to this next bit, so you can talk about it. So we're here now.
Alright, so yeah, this section has received a new combat sequence. Basically, you got the guy with the MG over there. He's waiting for you, and waiting to mow you down as well. If you move a bit more to the front, you can see also a truck full of explosive barrels, and the guy over there dumps it at you. So you'll have a bit more of a challenge. Now, of course, you got a bunch of ways to take down that MG. You can also, you have a blinking light over there, which indicates that you can blow it up. And of course, this will create a very cool effect. Yeah. This whole APC explosion thing is one of my favorites. Also, if you do explode it when you can listen carefully, there's a very unfortunate Metrocop inside there. Screaming his last rites, I guess. Okay, kind of feel bad for him.
Alright. That is Consul Plaza 01.
That APC blow-up scene, I mean, it just really shows the one free man, you know, stirring up all that terrorism.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Of course, I did focus on more action set pieces and, you know, something that the original console maps, Console Plaza maps did lack. So hopefully you also enjoyed this next set piece as well.
By the way, Vilu S asks, how many cut beta sounds do you think will be used in the beta mod? In this mod, however many we kind of want to use on the fly as we're developing this thing. I just decided to use the listen tone because I think it's really appropriate for the console cast, and the RZ added a lot in a terminal. So, yeah, I think there'll probably be more. We don't, there's not an exact number about how much we're going to use, but just whatever we deem is a nice place to put some beta sounds, we'll do it.
Oh, I ran into a barrel there.
That chopper outsmarted you.
That was unfortunate.
I do got a lot to unpack here. It's a very interesting set piece. Also, some of you may ask, hey, why is that building on fire? So obviously in the previous map, you could see that the chopper is attacking that building, and is obviously, you know, another chopper, not the same one chasing you. So basically, what I basically made as a cover story is, you know, the console did already announce the presence of Freeman, and that kind of awoken pockets of resistance all around the city. One of them being in that building over there, which you can see their unfortunate end. This one is the coward. He basically closes the door, doesn't want to fight you. And of course, a new sequence here.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Sorry. It's Freeman!
Kralik, you broke it.
Rip.
Still work in progress, folks. This is it's still one of my most recent reworks. I'm still today working on it, obviously, so everything is subject to change. Don't worry about it.
Yep. But,
so they're like really scared to see him in this.
Obviously, once you're inside the apartment, the spotlight should turn off automatically. I didn't implement it just yet, but like I said, work in progress.
Ozzy, could you make a note of just really patchy frame rate in this outside area over here? I think it might need might justify look worth looking into.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, off you go. Get out of here. Okay. Scare off the chopper. Off we go. There goes the big chunk of the building.
I like the ash there.
Oh yeah, the burning building does have an ash rain.
Very nice.
This area was also kind of reworked, still not finished. And I had a little bit more detail here. This was actually cool. Did help me with this area specifically. He made this, pretty much. And also on your right, there's an actually new console cast. It doesn't play anything, but still.
There you go.
We could in the future, though. Maybe. That's a plan.
Hopefully you will, yeah. And of course, one of my most favorite areas in this map, especially.
Got some more supplies before I go in there, so I don't embarrass myself.
Go on, shoot the chandelier off.
Oh, there goes the table from that cop who threw a table at me.
Completely forgot about that table before. It's kind of funny. A lot of people who play this map did caught him by surprise, and I'm kind of glad it did.
Okay.
Of course, this area specifically was way more open in the previous division. I kind of wanted it to be more linear right now. That's something I kind of strive for. Also, a lot of people did complain about the missing machine gunner, so he's back now.
Yep.
Obviously, before we move on to the last sequence, which also received the rework, it's the arcade ambush. Go ahead.
Shit! Sorry, I got a crash. 1 minute. Interesting.
Difficulties.
That cremator crashes now.
It's
Right.
the same cremator crash we had?
No, it's a
I
different
think
one.
it's the.
Huh.
No, I think it might be the cremator crash we had mixed with the cremator new effect that I added, creating more issues.
Is my save game invalid now? It is. Ah, shit, I have to restart this map.
Oh well.
Oh well. Sorry guys, 1 sec. I'll just no-clip through to there. Technical difficulties, it's a work in progress, alright? So on and so forth.
We really need to fix the crashing issue.
Yep.
Is at hard point. Ready to proceed.
Kill these guys. There we go.
Stream
I
for
will
the
say you
people
have
in the
to
Discord.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Here you go, guys. I believe OBS just picked it up again right away. Yeah, it did. It's fine. I think that cremator crash is still causing some problems, so I'm gonna give myself a 357 real quick. Yeah? Oh. There we go.
I would say just in case.
new effect when the cremator dies of his tank blowing up, which is interesting.
We need a new model for that.
Yeah, that model is a placeholder. Things will be developed.
My dev placeholder model. Yeah, no, it's something. I never claimed to be creative.
There you go. Yep, so they have a new explosion effect when their gas can blows up.
Still a heavy work in progress. We're going to try and make it so that it specifically requires damage to the tank directly to explode. Obviously, there's a lot of work to be done in that department still, but should be seen in the official release of 2.1.
He was stuck in the wall. Yep, but there you go. So that's Console Plaza 02. Which has received some great improvements as well. Let's progress.
By the way, fun fact, the track I made for the arcade ambush, that was originally supposed to be for free TVs.
Good.
And I'm glad it's not.
Yeah,
because it kind of...
I think it works really well here.
Yeah, it fits way better here than it did in free TVs. Because like it's more of a fast-paced track, and I kind of envision that you're just kind of making your way, really just running through free TVs, but that's not really the way to do it. It's like you should probably enjoy it more and kind of slowly make your way through it based on what pace you want to, what your pace is.
So Kralik, if you wouldn't randomly mind opening console real quick, I do want to check to see. Oh! Okay, so if you didn't SV Cheats 1, it might have actually worked.
Yep, so we do have achievements being worked on in the mod as well. This one was disabled because I had SV Cheats turned on for developing purposes, but yeah. Alright, we're now in arcade.
I'm gonna head out now, guys.
Alright, see you, Entity.
See you, Entity.
Bye, Entity.
Division 3 will be the Wasteland chapters. Here's the date cops again. Rip.
Oh, you spoiled them.
Oh well. So those are the Metro cops that were seen kind of having a date or something in train station. Those are the same cops.
How do you know it's them? Like I said, it's all details. Also, they do make a sound if you kill their partner, each one.
There you go. He's not a happy man. Gah! Okay. This guy runs for his life. Has an unfortunate workplace accident. That's a big shame. Should have wanted to be going,
You should have seen my first reaction to that when Kuz showed it to me.
I haven't seen a lot of these changes, so I am really enjoying watching this. Just, I love all the details.
Now, Calls also did a lot to arcade here, I believe. He added like a stealth mechanic here. So you can come up here and disable this camera. This camera will spot you and alert all the cops in the room to your presence. I'll do a quick save here and show what that looks like. As you can see. However, you can also instead my freaking quick save. I literally just did a quick save. There it is. Right. However, you can instead do this to disable the camera. And then get as close as that. You get this, you can get a little bit closer. You actually avoid the into a slightly more advantageous position in the encounter. details here and there, as well as the other usual suspects of improving the combat loop, fixing various issues as well. I was a no draw that managed to sneak in there. How about that?
I wrote it down.
Cool. There's also some 357 ammo there, but I'm not going to bother to get. It's taking quite a bit of damage. I'm also not going to do all the Easter eggs in this run, because this is not specifically an Easter egg run. I just did the revolver. But I will do new Easter eggs that people have added, which I have done so far. A few new ones that have been added. But I'm not just doing all of them.
Alright guys, I'm gonna head out.
No worries.
I gotta run. See you guys. Gotta sleep.
Alright. We will keep moving from here. Added some extra details down here into this combine-y area. Extra trims, some extra details. That makes the whole area look a lot nicer. This thing also moves and spins as it moves. Oh, it's another invisible cop. Interesting.
Their technology is improving.
It's a feature, not a bug.
This Herobrine cop stuff really needs to come to an end. These guys need a new shtick, honestly. Alrighty. And that was arcade. So now we are moving on to underground. I didn't use the emulator before, I probably should. I'll use it in underground a fair bit. We're moving on to underground. And we are done. So let's move on in. There's only a few things in underground that I recall being that we need specifically mentioning. The vorticel's a notable one.
There's also
I believe
Entity's new track playing, I guess.
Oh yes, set 2 on the radio. door falls down, as expected. Interesting.
Just give you a little pass.
Yeah. Little wooden hat.
Yeah.
Water cell is probably the most notable thing to receive a change in this map. Actually, there is also this little grenade doohickey that Cool's made that I think he did some sound. No, Amicus or CW. Someone. Okay, someone did some sounds of this.
A member of our team.
Yeah, it's a grenade dispenser. Makes noises. Dispenses grenades. There you go. Okay, so this vault now has a couple of ways you can deal with him. You can choose to either A, disable it, and that presumably disables whatever life support was keeping him going, and he's now in the fluid, drowning. That's not very nice. Very sad. Or option B, throw a grenade down here. He just standing up.
Euthanasia.
Yep. He's dead, and in either case, it disables the electricity leading to here, so that you can get through to this trench area. There's also this. There you go. Oh, the valve's in here now. Interesting. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go with that because it's not new. Come through to here. Open this up. This area has also received some reworking by Cools in terms of how the movement works. But now nothing actually spawns until you're already up here. Which makes the combat a little bit more interesting and dynamic. And then from here you can drop down here, but there's also another way you can do this that Paul's added. You can instead drop this barrel here, it will get pushed along by the rapids, and then if you blow that up there, it will blow up a part of the gate and let you get through. There you go, this is semi-breakable, which is cool. Might only be... No, it's not. It is also normal stuff breakable. Anyway, so there are multiple ways to do... Wait, there's two valves? What's the other valve for? Okay, I don't know what the other valve is for, but there you go. Okay, anyway, there you go. That's basically everything. So we will now go through here. And then from here, it now becomes... Ta-da! Inner canals.
Hooray!
So, this is where obviously Division 1 officially ends and Division 2 officially begins. Now, we've already done Division 2, so don't worry, we're not going to spend another 7 hours playing that. So, that basically... that's basically it. That is the Division 1 stream. We've covered every map. So... Questions! Let's answer some questions to clear up this screen, and then we'll call it a day.
We have a whole 3, possibly 4.
Alright, let's do them.
Will we ever utilize the concept of the Combine alien soldier that looked like a white slug?
I know what one you're talking about, and the answer is no, because I don't really see what it would do, but... we could think of an interesting mechanic for it, but it presents too many resources, and we have enough Combine stuff as is. So, probably not. Might be referenced to, might even appear as a cameo, but probably not in the actual one.
How many cut Half-Life NPCs do you plan to add?
I don't want to count them all up right now, because a lot of them are still in the concept stage, and we may or may not do them. But we are restoring more than a couple.
Most of them we have plans for.
Yep.
Will the advisors feature an RTBR?
Yes, they will feature an RTBR at the very end.
What is the purpose of the spooky radio?
To be spooky. Basically it.
Wait, you
next.
mean the one in Underground?
I believe so.
Oh, that's it's not really meant to be spooky. It's the console speech, but because it's underground, so there's no signal, so it gets very jittery. That's the whole purpose of it.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions?
One that just came up. Are there going to be armored Combine soldiers with Kevlar padding?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's all our questions then.
All right.
There is a question about whether or not the Consul Breen was the administrator in Black Mesa, but doesn't that get answered in Eli Den, if I recall correctly?
Yes, somewhat. I see another question about how far along are you on Division 3 by Matcha Jovic. We have made reasonable progress. We have blockouts in progress or being or soon to undergo testing for almost every map. Some are still being worked on and extended and stuff like that. But yeah, Division 3 progresses well. I guess I can
Let's answer the one about the shields then.
Yeah, sure.
Are there going to be Combine soldiers with shields like in Co-Terminus, or the example I'm thinking of is the Chargers from Half-Life Alyx?
Maybe. There was reference to a pulse shield, but I don't massively like the idea of shielded enemies, so. Let's have a couple more, I guess. Let's just keep answering these, because we have some that are coming through.
Is the sniper rifle going to be a thing, or will we stick to the crossbow?
We will have both, which will have some difference between them beyond just the fact that, excuse me, one shoots bullets and one shoots bolts. Go on.
Would we sign a deal with Valve if they ever... would we basically make a deal with Valve if they reached out to us and asked us to monetize our mod on Steam?
I want to say probably not, but like...
It's very unlikely.
First of all, it's probably not going to happen. But second of all, like, even if it was going to happen... Even if it was going to happen, I'm not so sure that we would, because... Well... There's just a lot of things involved. Like, there's been a lot of people who were on RTBR that aren't anymore, and it's like, well, what do you do in that situation, right? Like, what, like, do those people get a cut of everything? You know, by fairness, they probably should. But then you're looking at like 100+ people, and then you start having to work out, you know, who exactly gets what share. It just complicates everything. I don't really like doing that kind of thing. So, next.
When do we plan to have an encounter with the Combine Guard?
Division. We're currently thinking of having one in the Air-X in Division 4. That's where we're currently planning, but we'll have to see on that one. Before we do more, Teddy Saw brings up a good point of now would be a good time potentially for me to boot up the concept art and put them in a slideshow. So I will do that, I think. Just give me a sec. I just need to remember how you do this. How did I do this last time? I'm trying to set up like a little slideshow. Give me a sec. Open with Windows Photo Viewer.
Actually, there is someone asking about the turret used in the against the helicopter in Council Plaza 2. I think I'm getting your question right. But the answer is no, because that's pretty overpowered. Not gonna lie. I mean, and I don't think it's even possible to make a Metro Cop man one of those guns. And if he did, he would tear you to shreds like in an instant. So I don't think it's possible. And even if it was, I don't think it'll be balanced because most of the level is already pretty hard as it is right now.
Okay, this is now showing up. Hang on. Okay, I can now make this be a slideshow instead. One sec. Oh, this is just a pain in the ass, is it? Okay. Is it going to start showing up? Of course it's not. Right, I'm trying to set up a damn fan art slideshow. Oh, that's how you do it. That's better. Right, okay. Don't ask me why there's not simpler ways to do this. No. That's the one. Right. Now we have takeoff. There you go, guys. Right, I think that will now start showing fan art for the people on the stream.
Yeah, it does.
It does?
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Fan art is now showing. Right, continue with the questions for a bit, and then we'll pack it up.
Do we plan to have the advisors as an actual enemy that we fight?
No.
How do we plan to implement conscripts into RTBR?
They'll kind of benefit. They'll kind of act like more powerful rebels, but narratively they will be, you know, ex-military men. Some may even be ex-HECU.
That's about it with the questions, really.
Okay, well, a lot of the fan art here drawn by Teddysaw, particularly the cremators, but we have a lot of fan art people who have the role over on the public Discord. If you draw any Discord, what is it? Not Discord. If you draw any fan art of, are you sure that's all the questions, Flash? I'm seeing more than a couple in the chat. We don't need to be selective here. I'm okay with just answering anything.
Maybe my chats.
No, mine's working fine. I see a bunch of more questions coming up.
I mean, they keep coming up as we answer them.
Yeah. Actually, there's one we missed.
What? Which one?
Let me search for it. What voice would you use for Vance accents?
Oh, that.
Currently thinking something like, I mean, it would be cool if we had something like Michael Ironside's kind of voice, but that might not be feasible. But just like kind of like a more senior kind of American kind of voice, right? I think would do the trick.
He'll actually sound like Peter Griffin.
Sure.
I'm not gonna do the accent now. Sorry, no.
Yeah, no, don't worry about
Uh, will the conscripts have any HECU inspired lines, or just direct HECU lines?
Possibly, yes. Yeah.
Do we plan on any payment options in the future?
No. But if you wish to donate to RTBR in any capacity, you can in fact donate to this stream. The money will not go to developers. We do not take money for what we do. But the money will instead go to charity. We will donate any proceeds from the YouTube, from any donations, to a charity decided internally by the team.
If the option was presented to us, would we go about being hired by the Crowbar Collective?
I don't think the option would be presented to us, and if it was, I would say no.
Well, besides the one question I missed by Reverend Puffin, I think that is all of them. This I didn't see this one either. Do you think Valve could ever use your interpretation of Half-Life for a future Half-Life installment, possibly Half-Life 3?
I doubt they would, because we're remaking Half-Life 2. So, I mean, there's stuff we're doing that's from the cut content, but if they were to, for example, put the air exchange in you know, Half-Life 3, that wouldn't be because we had the air exchange in RTVR, right? So, yeah, so that would probably be my interpretation of that. I have one particularly fun question I want to answer from Bruno saying, "What did I miss?" Bruno, you missed the entire stream. We've been streaming for 3.5 hours.
He was here during other sections. We answered some of his questions as well.
Was he? Oh, okay. I thought he was just popping in at the very end.
No. He's been here before. I guess he just went for something.
That's interesting. Anyway, all right. If anyone did want to, Reverend, if you did want them to submit us an audition, they can do so on our Casting Call Club page, which I believe a link to that is on the Discord, and also in the some YouTube videos. Not this one, but some YouTube videos, not streams, who actually have the image via link as well.
Sure. Well, let me copy and paste that. Where is it?
Discord, I think, in the welcome channel or something for the Casting Call Club. Yeah, there it is.
Right.
There you go. Found it. Show off the achievements image, Grelic.
Huh?
Showcase the image I sent you on Discord. Something cool. I don't know.
Oh, one sec. Oh, this. I'd probably just do that later. Another time.
Alright, no worries.
Because it's still a work in progress system anyway. Anyway, okay. I think that's about it, guys. So thank you very much for watching. As I say, shorter stream this time. That was by design. Still had a good time. Hope you guys also had a good time and enjoyed yourself with watching the stream and also with taking part. Thank you, Dotty Boot, I think his name was, and the Real Arrow ? I think those were the two donators. Thank you guys for your donations. Really appreciate it. It will be going towards charity, and we'll announce that soon, I suppose. And in the meantime, thank everybody. Have a good one, and we'll see you in the next RTBR release and RTBR stream. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Farewell.